Hey guys, we just finished up filming the podcast. I'm just going to let you know, I'm throwing this in right in the beginning. Subscribe to the podcast. We have like 80% of the people that watch this are not subscribed, so subscribe to the podcast. Thank you so much and enjoy the episode.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the iced coffee episode. Oh my gosh.
This is good. Hey, we can just leave it.
Yeah,
right, we're good. So
this is the 28th episode ever, $18,600. I'm Carter Scher. You guys are watching the iced coffee hour. It was a lot harder than I thought.
Welcome. You know what? We've had a few guests, though.
It's a late hour, I think, too.
Only two out of like probably 20 guests have actually got it.
Really?
On the first try.
The first try was really close. I didn't know you wanted that ever.
The ever is
the ever. I was yeah.
Piece de resistance.
We have a format that works here, and the 28th ever episode is part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's very important.
But we did fine. But welcome to the Iced Coffee Hour. This is really exciting. You're on YouTube. For those that don't know, your main channel has, 8 million subscribers now? 7 million?
It's 7 something, yeah, not 8 yet.
Almost 8 million subscribers. You have a few channels than you as well. So you do, what would you categorize your main channel as? Like
the type of content that I make? Like viral content based on like YouTube. So we make content for the younger demographic, so like kids, basically like high school and younger. We do challenges, we do pranks, we do social experiments, and I'm getting a lot more into like building crazy stuff, like building the giant 28-foot Lego yacht and then trying to float it in my pool. So just totally random. Like every episode is just so different. We did like Last to Leave Lion Cage, and we did it for real. We were in there for 4 hours with a real full-grown lion.
What?
That lion was tamed, correct?
It was a very tame lion. It says the only lion in the country you could ever do this with.
It was still frightening?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was so big.
Very
quick.
How is this one so tame?
Because the owner found it as a cub, and she raises them and like handles them every single day. That's how you would like tame a large cat. And there was something special about this one. And so this one appears in a lot of different movies as like a lion. So it's like 4 years old. And like this one's just, as they say, a very special lion.
Did you feel safe in there?
Yeah, until like something had happened. And then it's like, then you realize there's no way you're getting out in time if something were to happen. Like it would get up and you realize the size, or you just it reaches its paw. You just realize how fast, and his paws are like this big. Like they were the size of your face. I mean, it was really wild.
Did you have like safety measures?
Not really. No paramedics on site or anything like that. We had the owner in there. That was one thing. She had to be in the cage with us at all times. And if she wasn't there, then it would be a different vibe, I think, for the lion.
Okay.
Say the cage is a square. Were you just in the exact opposite side of like the lion the entire time?
Yes. And then, I mean, you could leave any time. The gate wasn't locked, but it was, like you open the latch and you just walk out. But if you leave, you lose. As last to leave wins. But then we did challenges as it progressed. You had to go up and like touch the lion. So
isn't that just provoking it?
It's like you play until
you
someone
have to pull the lion's tail afterwards.
Yeah,
you have to anchor the lion.
Well, then we brought in raw meat and we had to feed the lion.
Oh no!
Yeah, that was the last challenge.
Did you win?
No, I did not win. I left.
It's scary.
Yeah. No, it's terrifying. The teeth, like everything about it was pretty wild.
How much does that cost?
We paid, I think, like $4,500.
So it's a little bit over $1,000
for a day.
To rent a lion for a day, it took us like 4 hours in the hot sun. It was very hot that day to film, and I think the check was like $4,500, something like that.
But how do you one up that? Because I've seen a lot of your videos. It kind of builds on one another. Like you can't go down. Like once you do a lion, you can't go and do like a chimpanzee. You got to do like now a bear or an alligator.
Well,
or something more vicious.
So in the actual video. To determine one of the winners at the end, since we all like left kind of like at around like the 4 hour mark, we did like a tiebreaker round with a grizzly bear, and that thing was even bigger and very aggressive. So it was through the cage, and it was actually one of the owner's ideas, like get some of this like fruit and put it on your cheek, and then put your cheek up against the fence, and he'll lick it.
No.
So we're doing that, right? So I'm kind of doing it scary. I mean, this thing is going fast. So now I was standing ready, getting ready for the cameras. And he reaches under and almost grabs my shoe to try to pull me under. And so the lady's like, "Yo, step out." And like I stepped out, and he almost grabbed me and pulled me into the fence. And so I asked her, I was like, "What's he trying to do? Like, what if you open that gate?" He says, "If you open that gate or you go in that cage, he will kill you immediately. That's what he's trying to do." And I'm like, "So why are you suggesting to let it lick our faces?" It was the whole thing.
Who insures this? Do you check with an insurance company beforehand?
Yeah.
Because this is a special thing. It's like if I were Kaiser, I'd say no. You put yourself in danger. You put yourself in a lion's cage. We're not going to cover that. You must have some sort of special insurance. Like athletes have this insurance. Like stunt people have this insurance. Like right?
We're working on it. Yeah,
it's in process.
It's a process. We did try to do this one where we were going to jump off the roof into like a big crash pad. We thought that'd be fun for a video, and we could not get insurance for that. We talked to a few places, and they were saying no, just like we don't insure that kind of stuff.
But you get insurance for all of the stunts that you do.
No.
They're working on it.
No, I mean most of it is my own personal harm. It's very rarely are there like big risks for other people, and we have general liability insurance for someone tripping at the house or whatever like that. But that one was a very special occasion to like invite my friends into the lion cage. Normally it's just like myself, and I'm not gonna sue myself, but having insurance for myself would be good. You know what I mean? Yeah. But no, that's definitely a frontier that we're continuing to expand into. Is like being smarter with like insurance and safety, and having like paramedics on site and things like that.
So you intend to keep like pushing the limits here with some of the videos? Because to have paramedics on sites for videos made for like high school and under, is that necessary?
To go crazy for
to go that crazy?
Well, it's not that like I feel like I need to get views.
Yeah.
I just really wanted to do that video, and everyone else was so down. Like I wasn't like begging anyone to do it. It was very willing. Everyone was very excited for it and everything. So, I mean, there are some other videos I feel like I got into. I felt like I needed to go big to, get views, but it's really not about that. It's also not really about one-upping. It's just about making just interesting, entertaining content.
Yeah.
Really.
Would you do the bear licking the face?
Yeah.
You would do it.
I would probably do that. Yeah.
Really?
I think that's just like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and if something bad happens, but it, like dying in that way would be kind of like not cool, but like
I think risk of death is low, but I think risk of like getting like cut
you don't want to be mutilated.
Yeah, do some sort of cost benefit analysis. Obviously the cost is very high in the event something happens, but at the same time it's like very low chance. So I would probably
the story you would get from that.
Yeah. I mean, would you do that?
I don't think I would. I don't think I would.
Answer.
Yeah,
honestly, it's probably a smart answer.
Because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity doesn't mean you need to put yourself at risk. Like
but
if there's a 1 in 100 chance.
So yeah, I mean, if there's a 1 in 100 chance,
I'd rather just not do it. I'd rather just play it safe.
Yeah, I mean, playing it safe would be to not do it. I mean, like to give to take a step back, the whole holistic thing. Like we did approach this very like we're not like stupid jumping into this thing. Like we thought about it. We talked with people and all that kind of stuff, and we proceeded with caution. We made sure, like even like I said, we like one of the challenges was to feed it raw chicken, like raw meat, feed it hand feed it while we're in the cage with this lion. Sounds crazy. Like, why would you like put bait in the water with sharks? Well, we asked the lady like all these things, and she says that's not going to increase the risk. Like just because you're feeding it, like we made sure to like walk through all the steps, but of course there is general risk, and we don't do animals often. We do like little puppies.
That's my level.
Yeah, but we don't. I don't know if I would do it again. That video was crazy, so I'm not like big into like wild animals because very unpredictable.
So you tend to go for the virality aspect. Like, what other stuff do you think is worth mentioning? Like, what would you say is the craziest video you've done?
The craziest video? I don't know.
What would you say is the hardest to organize video? Like the most difficult to get put together to, I don't know, to set the scene
coordinate
for.
The whole thing.
Yeah. Right, because you did like the Lego video where you created like a whole Lego ship and put it in your pool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one took a little bit of logistical planning, but big logistics. And we've done stuff with like rental cars where we had like multiple Lambos and we were driving those around. We did. I ordered 10,000 rubber chickens from China and then got those delivered, and I filled like a swimming pool for them. We could like jump into them and like swim and stuff.
What do you do with those afterwards? Like where did they all go?
Yeah.
We gave those away.
Okay.
So we gave them away for free on our website, which was really cool. A lot of the they sold out like day of.
Is it they have to pay for shipping?
They cover the cost of shipping.
Okay.
Which was like $3 or something, but then you get like this rubber chicken, which is probably $15 on Amazon or whatever.
Who comes up with that? Who came up with that idea?
I think it was probably either me or Phil. We were probably hanging out, and So Phil, if you guys don't know, also shout out to Phil. He loves watching all your content.
Oh, cool.
He runs our merchandising
Yeah.
and teamrar.com. And so he has like a whole supply chain from China that manufactures custom like apparel, hats, like this hat, for example, and then ships them into LA, and then we distribute it from there.
Speaking of which, we're going to turn off the cameras for a second. We'll come right back on. One sec, Jack. I got a surprise for you. Just to wear for this, I think.
Oh
I got the
yeah,
green one.
this is awesome.
Which one's the large one?
All right, guys, I have the Team RAR hoodie on right now. I just got to say, very, very cozy. I think that it is very comfortable. This has got to come down. And
You squeezed into it.
yeah.
I feel like you're probably normally like medium or large.
Yeah, medium or large, definitely.
There we go. I don't know if that's going to look interesting just to have a weird angle like that. What do you think?
I mean, it would probably need better lighting, like from the side.
Oh, well. You know what? It'll be all mysterious. Let's just try it.
All right, so the review of the hoodie. It's actually I will say it is one of the most comfortable hoodies that I've ever worn. It is so soft on the inside. It is incredibly
It
soft.
fits you perfectly.
Really?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, yeah.
I'm sure if I
It's a good fit, yeah.
stood up, because my torso is kind of...
And I think
Yeah, no,
if
it's
you did
fine.
this, it'd be like up to here.
All
like
my
that.
height is in my torso. So,
No, I think you're fine.
thanks, Graham.
Okay.
Well, it looks good. You got the green one.
Thank
on
you. I
there.
like the green.
Yeah, it's
I like
nice
the bright
color.
colors now.
So we got to get an understanding of what exactly Team RAR is. Okay.
Okay.
What does that stand for? How did you get the idea to make something like that? And also hopefully go into a little bit of your backstory, because I watched a video today on you. I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of your content. I've heard of you and I've seen you on like, trending or whatever, plenty of times. But I watched this video where it was like 10 years of your life.
Yeah.
That was a good video.
Thank
and
you.
You actually really surprised me, like in those 10 years. It's not what I expected. You're very very smart. And not that I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that.
That's something that
No, but,
I
like,
wouldn't expect it either for someone to hang in a lion's cage.
Well, like all the robotics stuff and like mechanics and stuff like that, you're very good with all that. And you like went to and studied like physics and stuff like that, and then changed out to like computer science or whatever.
Yeah.
So first off, let's get on to the Team RAR. How did
Team
you
RAR.
come to, or we can go chronologically.
Let's go chronologically. That sounds
Yeah,
better,
okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so I was born, I mean, I don't go that far back. So yeah, I went to Carnegie Mellon University after high school, and I went in to study physics. So I was going to be a physics major freshman year, and then I got all the way to like quantum mechanics, and I just thought at that point, it's just like too much. It's just too crazy. I can't imagine like if I'm only here, I guess it was sophomore year, taking quantum mechanics, the math is just insane. Super fascinating stuff. Still love physics. So after quantum, I was like, you know what? Like, I can't imagine what I'm going to do for a living. If this is sophomore year, what do I do after senior year? Like, it's going to be so deep. So I did a career change, and then I started getting more interested in discovering that Carnegie Mellon is really good at computer science and robotics. It's like number one in the country for those kind of things, which is awesome because I've always been fascinated with robots. And throughout high school, I got into legged locomotion, which are like mechanical linkage systems that like you turn rotary cranks into like legs that'll walk across the ground, and you can like have self-propelled things. It's really tough to describe. You'd have to see it.
Sure.
So I guess I'm kind of going backwards, but
I can throw some B-roll or something.
yeah. So from the 10 year, like
Yeah.
I built like a 12-legged, essentially wheelchair that has legs instead of wheels, and they like walk across the ground, and they're hand powered. I've built full-size mechanical horses that you can ride like bicycles, and like you literally climb up and it's like tall. So yeah, so I got in, throughout school I studied, just took all the classes I could with robotics and computer science, and kind of picked and choose the stuff I wanted to learn. And so I actually ended up creating my own self-defined major. And then after that, I went to UPenn, and we did an incubator program with my friend Phil. He was the guy who does the teamrar.com and merchandising. And then while I was there, I was doing self-driving cars and working in the embedded systems laboratory, doing like microcontrollers and sensors and developing like software and hardware for self-driving cars. And then that's when I got into YouTube.
How? There's no connection there.
There is no connection there. I mean, a little bit in a sense. Like, I started discovering like there's more than just PewDiePie that's like a professional YouTuber. But never really thought about it. Like, always watched YouTube growing up. And so as we started getting into it, posting videos, and I mean, I guess initially it was just kind of the research. So I just switched my focus of like trying to like figure out how to make a car drive itself. Let's just figure out how to post a video that gets views. And there's an algorithm involved, there's audience. So I just started doing research on that and kind of reverse engineered how to make a video that somebody would watch and that YouTube would promote. That has to be the right thumbnail, the right title, the right packaging, the right upload time, the right upload day, the right upload frequency, the right way you create your content, and the way you like speak into a camera. And so I just started working on all those skills, just video by video, and then went viral like a few months later. Didn't even make it 6 months into that first job. Had to find a sublease for that apartment that I had, and then I moved into my parents' house, and then 3 years later, now I'm in Bel Air.
What does that first video make? How much were you making back then to be like, I'm going to quit my job and just move in with parents and do YouTube?
Like the first video that actually did something versus all the ones that made no money at all. I remember early on we had, and this was me and my brother working together on this first channel. We hit I was only making like $12 an hour as a research assistant. Loved the job, was still learning so much. But that was like kind of my reference point. It's like, $12.50. We did like $3,000 in a month, which was like a non-zero number. I think that was the first like non-zero. Like $200 doesn't mean anything to me, right? But we made like $3,000. I was like, wow, $3,000 is like, that's like a real chunk of money. Like that's something. Like let's keep trying this. Like let's keep going. Maybe I think that was the point. I was like, all right, I'll come home every weekend to make content and we'll just grind. We did like 14-hour days and we tried to make enough content in 2 days and edit the videos so we could post throughout the week for my next weekend to come home. And then we had a couple videos that like hit 1 million or did well or something. And then I remember we hit like 20 grand in 1 month. And I'm like, whoa, 20 grand divided by 2 people is still 10 grand, which is still more. It's way more than I'm making now. And it's also more than my dream job in Silicon Valley, which will pay like 114 or something like that. So I'm like, wow. And then we're just getting started. Also, we have 10K subs. And I know you could do 100K subs. You can also do 1 million subs. And you can do 10. Like the amount of growth ahead of us is tremendous. And we're already making like a decent amount. And so I remember having to like talk with my professor, like, yo, like, I know you just hired me, but I want to quit. And so I showed him like that. And he's like, dude, that's just like glitch. Like that's noise. Like it's not going to happen. I'm like, dude, no, I believe like we can keep this going up. And so I quit and then we just went full force.
That's so smart. I hate when people say that. Like, oh, you don't know, you stick with this. But yeah, have you talked to the professor since then?
Not really. I think like a couple months later before I moved out to California, he like reached out because I needed to like bring someone up to speed that was taking my spot to like run a lab or like figure out some questions about the code that I wrote I made like a self-balancing robot lab for this grad program. They're like trying to figure it out. So it was like that, but it wasn't like checking in like, oh man, I doubted you. Never any of that. Never any like closure like that. It was always just like, he actually told me this when I was sitting in his office, so nervous because I was so thankful for the opportunity he gave me. And I'm learning a tremendous amount. But he said something after I tried quitting. Well, one, he said, why don't you try going part-time? I'm like, no, full-time. Like, I need to hit this hard. He goes like, wow, I'm disappointed. Like, you're meant for so much greater. You're meant for so much than playing on Photoshop and making, Nerf videos or whatever, doing like Nerf videos. And
that would, okay.
I mean, it's a little bit like rude, but also... Like, I get what he's saying. Like, you're meant for so much more. You're going to develop, like, the cure for cancer or, like, you're going to make the, like, Tesla's self-driving cars. You're going to be the head of a, IT or, I don't know, like, something big. Yeah. Is what he was kind of meaning by it, as opposed to, like, this is silly. Like, you're meant for more. But I knew what I was doing that he didn't understand was so much more. You know what I mean? Like, I knew where I could take it. Or I believed that it could be something huge.
I would love for you to have a follow-up with him.
Yeah.
Film it.
Yeah.
Film it on the channel. I think that would be such great content to come full circle and come back. Invite him over to your place in Bel Air. You got this mansion, man. It's insane. This house has more bedrooms than I could count. It's mad. We'll talk about that soon. But I think that would be so much fun. You bring him by and you give him a drive in the Lamborghini.
Yeah, pick him up from the airport and the Aventador.
Yeah, you should do that. Give him the full stay. Let him stay in the place. No hotel. You'll pay for it. I think that would be fun.
That would be fun. Sometimes I do like kind of lay in bed thinking about like the people like that in my life that like either didn't believe or like were negative in some kind of way, and thinking about like talking to them now and kind of checking in.
Checking in.
Yeah, like worked hard, made it work. You didn't believe in me.
How did you make $20,000 in a month with 10,000 subscribers?
We had a couple videos that hit big.
And they didn't grow your sub count a ton with the videos?
No, I mean, we were growing fast. And so I'm not, this is off of memory. This is like late 2016, early 2017. So, 3 years ago. And so I'm trying to remember specifically what it is. But it was something like that. Like we were probably like under 50K for sure. And made like $3,000 and then like the 10 grand. I think what it was, actually, this is a milestone that I remember very specifically, is if we could hit 100,000 subscribers, I'll quit my job. So we were at 100K, and that was also the same time I remember showing my boss to like prove, I was so excited, like, yo, like I made 20 grand, like that's awesome. That might have been like the month before, but before I talked to him and before I could move out, we were already at 200K.
Oh my gosh.
We like doubled that fast. And then like before you knew it, I think like a month and a half later, we were at 1 million. So we had like tremendous exponential growth because we were riding trends, and the algorithm was simpler back then. I mean, I wouldn't say it's any more complicated, it's just different. And I just like figured it out. And so I knew how to make content win and how to combine trends and how to merge audiences to just win. Like if you typed in fidget spinner, I would come up first. Back when like fidget spinners were like a big trend. Like if you type in Nerf, I'm probably ranked like 3rd. Like if you just go and Google Nerf, like I would be there. Like I was like maxing out all the SEO on all the topics like Nerf, slime, prank, fidget spinners, hoverboard, backflip, that stuff, and just maxed out on it all.
Were you doing a lot of networking at the time?
No, zero. No collabs, nothing.
That's incredible.
Did it all without ever meeting a YouTuber until we were like, I don't know, 1.5 million or more. And he was a car channel and had 500K. But like not like a big channel.
Who was the car channel?
JR Garage.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Yeah,
Jeff. Yeah.
Don't they comment on?
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to JR Garage if you guys are watching.
I haven't seen those guys in a long time, but yeah, we filmed a few really cool videos actually. So what we wanted to do with, and my brother Steven was friends with those guys. That's how I met them. So they were like in high school. It's the craziest thing. So they were high schoolers. I think he was 17. JR was 17 and had a Lamborghini. Living in,
I thought it was a Viper.
Well, he had a Viper
You
too.
had the Viper first.
And we had a Viper at all the same time. A Viper.
What was the car he drove to high school?
A Lamborghini, a Gallardo.
How did they do that? How do you do that at 17?
That was a Viper.
I'm telling you, he has so many cars, it's crazy. And this is back in 2017.
No, this is it. This is it. This is his initial video, was driving my Dodge Viper to high school at 17. And then he had this one posted later, driving my Lamborghini to high school at 17.
That's
Funny
the one.
supercar reaction.
So 3 years ago, that's around the time that we met him and his brother. And they rolled up to my house with a Tesla Model X, P90D or whatever the maxed one is, and then a Gallardo and a Viper. They rolled up like that.
That is so cool.
So, and we had content plans. So again, this is back when I was like top of my analytics strategy game. And we wanted to combine fidget spinners, which were like mega hot, with Lamborghini, which is, according to my research, super hot. Yeah. So we were going to do like a Lamborghini fidget spinners by making a giant Lamborghini and putting it like on the wheels as like a spinners,
Oh, wow.
So he just let us hot glue it to the rim. We like made this spray paint. It was super cool. It looked like a giant fidget spinner out of cardboard. And then we put like a bearing in the middle from a fidget spinner and then just like literally just glued it with hot glue to the Lamborghini rim. So you drive around, you have these like, like spinners, but they were like, it was a cool thing. It went viral, multi-million views. So it was just crazy. Yeah.
That's incredible.
I feel like the algorithm used to be so much more simple back then. Like 3 years ago, it was honestly, you put like for us, you put passive income in the title, 100K views, easy, which back then for a finance channel, that's the equivalent of 1 million views now. So I'll just do views now. Passive income, 1 million views. Talk about a Lamborghini. You have a Lamborghini in the background, 500,000 views. I bought a Lamborghini, 1 million views. Now that doesn't work anymore. Now you can't do that. That's boring.
That's actually literally what we did. Lamborghini was so hot that we went out and we bought a Lamborghini. And we made more money because we bought that Lamborghini than if we didn't buy the Lamborghini. That doesn't work so well today, although
No,
I
it does
still
not.
bought.
Because everyone has Lambos now.
That's like,
That's like the new baseline,
Exactly.
You got to get a
It
private
is.
jet next. Okay, that's the next step.
But no,
Yeah.
but see, you have to appeal to like 25 and under. 25 and under, they don't care about private jets.
No,
It's
they
too
don't. They don't have like
unrealistic.
posters of it on their walls.
No.
It's not in music videos as much as like Lambo is just
True,
such
true.
a brand.
What do kids like now? Because I feel like even just a few years ago, it was Lamborghini. What is it
It's
now?
still Lambo in a lot of senses. There's
Yeah.
more. Everyone has a Lambo, so there's more competition for content.
I thought it was Tesla. Worked for me.
Tesla is cool.
Tesla worked for me. $78 Tesla Model 3.
But I don't know if it's kids. I think it's a little bit older people that are very into, like, I'm into Teslas. A lot of my friends my age, as opposed to like, you ask a 6-year-old what's the coolest car, they're probably not saying Tesla. I mean, they're very cool cars, but they're probably saying some kind of fancy sports car, and more colors and stuff like that.
Let's talk about that Lambo that you bought, because in that video that I watched of yours, you said that you spent everything to get this Lambo. Like you literally had like $0 after this transaction.
It was
what was that
early
like?
on.
And how long did it take for you to like save up for the Lambo? And did you go into it with 100% confidence that it would pay for itself?
No, we didn't go 100% confident. So we were shopping for a Lambo, and I think we paid like for this one, like $150,000. It was a
Gallardo, right?
Lamborghini Gallardo 2012. So it's only a few years old, very low miles. We got like the green, like this color green.
Verde Ithaca.
Yeah. And so we found, we went all over. We did find one. And so we like flew up or drove up to like Ohio or something like that. And we like saw it. We told the guy like, this is it. Don't we negotiate? We bought the car, handshake. And then, like before we're like officially signing papers and transferring money, we had to like wait for our next AdSense to come in just so we could pay it. We didn't even have the money.
Wow.
We knew what we were going to get paid because they tell you estimated.
Yeah.
But you had to wait a month for it to come. So we had to like wait for it to, so we're like making up excuses of like what's happening. Cause he's like, where's my money? Like I thought I was going to get paid Monday. We didn't get paid until like Thursday that week. So we had to like wait. So it finally hit the bank, and then we turned around and shot it, and we was like zeroed it. We had like a couple $1,000 left.
You didn't want to get a loan or anything?
We never even thought of it. We didn't even know. I had no clue what a loan was. I mean, I did, but like we didn't like consider those things. No, we just paid cash, and we paid all the cash we had. And we're only like a few months into YouTube, so we made that money fast.
Months into YouTube?
Yeah.
Buying a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, still living in my parents' house. We buy a Lamborghini before we decided to move out.
How much of that was like you liking the Lambo versus how much of that was like a calculated risk to use
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said that we weren't like super hyped about.
Naturally, right.
Yeah, being the only like kids in Virginia.
How old were you?
Just graduated college, so I was
22.
2016. So yeah, that was cool. But in hindsight, it was such an incredible investment. We made a lot of videos with it. It's more than paid itself off multiple times over. We used it for branding for a music video, Share the Love, which was the first piece of music I've ever written. I've never played any instrument or anything. We write this song, and it's over 120 million views now.
Really?
I listened to it.
Yeah.
How much does that make? 120 million. Can you tell us?
I don't have access to that anymore, but it's definitely over $100,000. So even just that single video alone is probably closer to 200K.
Wow.
Revenue. It's very low CPM because it's just short. You only get one ad. You're not going to put an ad like in the middle of a music video when people are listening to it.
That would be funny. That's something I would do.
Yeah.
My music video guys would have an ad every other minute.
Yeah, we should do that. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Just like right as the chorus is coming up.
Yeah.
It's
Right at the
like, bam,
climax.
Ty Lopez showing up.
Yeah, but it's crazy, because like that video, a platinum record is 150 million like plays or whatever. There's different metrics that equate to different things. So if that video hits 150 million, which it's on track to, it gets like 1 million or 2 a month every month since we made it.
Wow.
It's gonna go platinum, and so I'll be like a platinum record artist, which is like a weird concept to me because it's it's like a song for a young audience, and it did like beyond well. But again, we had like SEO behind it and branding behind it, the Lambo behind it back when Lambo was big, and it's just solidified itself in that part of YouTube that just keeps on chugging along.
So you've then transformed that Gallardo into now you have an Aventador S, and you've got a Countach. When did you get the Countach?
I got that one, I don't know, almost a year ago.
How much was that? That's got to be like 300, 250?
It would be, but I got it for under 100,000.
Wait, how?
It's because it's a replica.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Can we say that? Is that, or do you not
I
want
mean,
that
I
known?
don't really like say that.
Okay.
We can mute it.
Yeah.
Do you want us to mute it? We can mute it.
It's up to you, man. I don't want to put you on the spot for anything you don't want out there.
No, I mean, I'm open with my stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I don't advertise certain things, but it's not that I'm not open about it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that one's,
I had no idea.
yeah.
So
It's
I've
a really,
I've seen
really
it.
good one. So it's
Yeah.
actually the second one that I've bought.
Wow.
And the first one, I think the Countaches are amazing. And knowing my use case for a Countach, I couldn't do it with the real one.
Yeah,
Like, the
because you
way
would never
I'd want to
drive
drive it,
Yeah.
the way I just, like I use my stuff.
Yeah.
I use my cars, and I'm not gonna use like that much money on a Countach.
Wow, it looked great. Jack, you should put some B-roll of this car here. It looks so good. Now, I couldn't tell in the interior. It looked like a Pontiac Fiero in the interior. I'm not sure if that's just...
No, it's not. That's just how they are. It's
That's just how they are.
perfect. Inside
Really?
and
It's
out.
just the engine.
It's got more real Countach parts in it than not.
Wow.
It's
So
a very high, it's crazy.
that's got to be... For $100,000, that's got to be the real dimensions of the car.
It's the perfect dimensions,
Wow.
same horsepower, same. It's got Countach wheels, Countach emblems, and interior, and seat belts, and radio, steering wheel. It's crazy. I don't know who built this thing, but it's got like more Countach on it than probably some Countaches.
Is it still very quick? Like, is it still?
It's fast, yeah.
Do you know what kind of engine it has?
It's got like a Chevy something in there, like a V8. It's not like a V12. Like
I think they use 350 engines.
350 is probably what it is. Yeah.
Because
And,
I know a lot about this because I kid you not, I was like 18 years old. I wanted a Countach replica really badly. Because think of it, like I had just gotten out of high school and I wanted a Lamborghini, but obviously I don't have the money for a Lamborghini.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like, well, for 40 grand, if I could save him 40 grand, I could get a Countach like this. Or they had Diablo replicas. But-
I knew someone who had a Diablo
Yeah, really?
replica. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't even tell.
Yeah. But now for something like a Countach, I love those cars, but they're like 250 to like 400 grand, and you never want to drive it
No, you
because of
can't.
how rare it is. Every mile that you put on that car, I don't know how much value you lose on that, or
It's
the
like
risk.
$1,000.
Yeah. So to get a replica like that for 100 grand and just drive the snot out of it, that would be kind of cool. Makes
That's
me
gotta
almost
be-
want one now.
Well, I might be selling mine if you want it,
Really?
because it's not very drivable.
Why?
Because you can't see out of it, which is the same for, it's the same dimensions and seats and everything. You just can't see the shape and how low. You saw how low it is.
Yeah.
It's so low. The windows are on an angle like this, like all windows.
I
even the
wanna
side
drive
ones.
it.
Well, you can, but it takes 3 2x4s to get it in and out of the driveway.
Okay.
Because it's kind of steep. It doesn't have a front lift. So like as you pull down, you come at an angle, and I'll shove 1 2x4. I'll tell you to pull up. I put another one. No joke.
Yeah.
Like literally, it takes 3 pieces of wood to get it in and out of the driveway.
And you've had a positive ROI on the car?
Well, so this is the second one that I've owned. The first one I owned, I got like a real junker, but it looked clean, which is all I really wanted for, content. So I got that one and I paid 30 for it. Had it for like a few months and then sold it for 47. So I made
Nice.
17 on it and made content on it and drove it around and had fun with it, which was awesome. And then I turned around to buy this one for like like 80 something I paid, I think. And then again, I made content on it, but it's just not, they're just so hard to drive. Like even like the Aventador, like awesome car that does have a front lift. So some more modern features. It's like riding a roller coaster. Would you ride a roller coaster every day?
No.
No, but you'll ride it like, a couple times this weekend and then not for 2 months and then be
Yeah.
excited to go back to the theme park.
Right.
It's like that. But the Countach is like the scariest one. And it's so like, it's just so hard to see. It's just so inconvenient in every way. It's actually a good like tester to see if you'd actually appreciate and drive a real one.
That's true.
Which is higher risk,
Yeah.
but the same shape, same horsepower, same, no power steering in the front, all that kind of stuff. It drives very similar.
Sometimes that could be good to do that to get it out of your system. Like I really wanted this Rolex. It was a rose gold Rolex with a olive dial, and it was beautiful. And I really wanted this watch bad. It was like 40 grand.
Oh my gosh.
So I got a replica version of the same watch for like $350.
Yeah.
And got it out of my system within a weekend.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, I'm
Perfect.
kind of,
Yeah, now I'm good. Now I know what it's like. I don't need that. I saved a lot of money.
yeah.
Why are you laughing?
No, it's smart. That's very smart.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
It's
Yeah.
it's good money.
I think it's very smart. Yeah, it's good.
I should wear it on the podcast at some point.
Why don't you? It's right over there.
All right. I'll swap
Grab it.
out.
It's a cool watch.
I'll show you the watch. Whoops. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is a Rolex. So obviously the weight is really off.
The weight is off.
The weight is it's really light for what it is. If that were real gold, it would be a very heavy watch.
Okay.
But that's it. Like visually, you wouldn't see any difference just until you feel it and you're like, wow, this is obviously not gold.
Yeah. I would never probably spend money on a watch.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I love them. See, something like this, I feel like is a work of art.
At least I'm not into
Right,
it.
yeah.
Like, I mean, your audience probably, based on things I'm saying, thinks probably I spend like crazy money and I'm like crazy with my money and stuff. I think about it, and like even for the Aventador S, which is outrageous, it's a $495,000 sticker price, but I didn't buy it brand new.
Do you buy it or you leased it?
No, I bought it.
You bought it?
Yeah.
Why not lease that car? That's an easy write-off to lease.
Okay, it's an easy write-off to lease, but here's my justification. I actually was going to make like a whole video, kind of like your Tesla video on it. So it's a $500,000 car. I got it on the second owner, so it's slightly used. And I spent $350 or something on it, or $340 or whatever, something like that. So because it's 3 years old, 3 years old, it's already lower on its depreciation curve, and that curve is flattening out. And depending on how things go, I could own this car for 3 years and I'm only really paying the delta, the difference between when I buy it and to when I sell it. That's really the number that matters. Obviously, there's more risk in
Sales
between.
tax.
There's sales tax and stuff too, which I didn't really kind of consider. But anyways, there's lots of examples, just like that other, the first Countach I bought it and sold it for 17 grand more like 4 months later. You know what I mean? So like there's possibilities for this S, either increasing in value, holding its value, or decreasing in value. But even if it decreases, it's not going to be by much. And I could probably own this Lambo for just a few $1,000s, maybe 20 grand, 30 grand over the course of 6 months to a year to like a year and a half, depending on what I do with it. All the while generate revenue with it by making videos, content, have it elevate the brand in photos and, being an owner of a crazy Aventador S, also personal enjoyment. All these things factor in. And then when I go to sell it, even if I like smashed it, it would still be worth like $150,000. Like literally just completely wreck the front of the car. It'd probably be worth almost $200,000.
I think that's smart.
Yeah.
I respect that
because if you lease it, you know how much you're paying in a monthly lease, like
probably
50,
600,
$6 grand a month, and
you
your
have to put like
miles
30 grand down.
That's probably true
down,
too.
yeah.
And they limit your miles to 2,500 miles a year, and it's like $4 a mile if you go above per mile or something crazy. I've already put a few thousand miles on my car, and I've only had it for a few months because I use it, for content, enjoyment, and don't have to pay $1 per mile. You know. So,
I got myself in a corner on this one. I can't spend any amount of money without people getting very upset at me. I can't do that. If I got a Lamborghini like that, people would immediately turn their back like, Graham, you've taught us to save our money, and now you go and buy a Lamborghini. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be too bad anymore.
I think it would.
I mean, yeah, there would be like a little bit of backlash,
it would be
but I
so...
don't think it would last a long amount of time.
I don't know.
Graham has this like argument in his head all the time, and he thinks that like people would really be affected if he were to go and do something like that. I think on the other hand, as long as he could justify it the way that you did, whereas like, I mean, to be completely honest, you would get personal enjoyment out of it, and there is a dollar amount that you could put on that.
I don't see you enjoying a Lambo very much though.
Why?
I feel like for you, I mean, it's a lot. It's like even for me, like I kind of question, like, should I, is it time to get rid of this thing? Should I like get my money back on it, or should I keep it? I kind of go back and forth because it's a ton of money to be locked up in a car.
Yeah.
Oh, also the decision between financing, and just paying cash for it was also something that I thought of too, for it too. And because like taxes were the same, if I finance it, I'll just be paying more interest. But because of the different like cash flow circumstances I was in, it was just better just to pay it off since I don't have use for that money currently at the moment. So it would be cheaper to avoid interest and just pay it off.
Okay.
So
the interest is a write-off, though. I view it as the interest is a write-off, and you just invest the difference.
Okay. Well, I'm learning more about finances, but
right.
I put some thought as opposed to going and buying, just random stuff. And I always try to have whatever I do invest my money in be a positive return. And I think for the most part, I do pretty well.
What about the Hummer?
The Hummer, okay. Yeah, same kind of idea. That was like $100,000. I don't plan on ever selling that car. I love that thing. And so I just use it for personal enjoyment and for content. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's paid itself off. It's hard to track that kind of thing. But we've done videos that have done 10 million plus, and actually it's 100% paid itself off, probably 4 times over. Now I'm starting to think of the content we've done. We've done videos that have 22 million views on it, and it was Last to Leave the Hummer. And we just put my friends in the Hummer, and Last to Leave's got 22 million views. And that's more.
What do they win?
It was 10 grand.
Like 10 grand.
10 grand.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Not bad. Yeah.
Could you go over each car that you have right
Yeah.
now, currently?
Yeah.
All right, what do you have?
Okay, so it's a 2004 Hummer H1. I got the Lamborghini Aventador S, the Countach. I just bought a limo. Kind of
That's
crazy.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
super
cool.
cool. I'm going to pick my friend up tonight at the
It's
airport with
cheap,
it.
right?
22 grand.
22 grand for a
Yeah.
limousine, man.
We did a lot of research. I actually have a video that kind of shows a little bit of that. We drove all over. Like, we were out in Palm Desert, looking for one. We were somewhere around here. Then we drove all the way to Fresno for this one. I found such a great example. It's a really great vehicle, very well taken care of. So very happy about that one. We're going to get some fun use out of that. And we're going to do a last to leave limo. It's probably going to, hopefully we'll do well. Okay, so I have a smart car, which is awesome. I really like that one too. I actually drive that one probably the most. Little tiny 2-door smart car.
That's fun.
It's like a little
That's super
go-kart.
fun.
It's just fun. Like, it just feels like you're driving a go-kart on the road. Another one of my favorites is a 1964 Volkswagen Dune Buggy. That one is, again, like, I don't plan on ever selling it. Love that car. It's so fun. It's basically an old Volkswagen Beetle that's been converted. I have a Lincoln Navigator. That one's a lease. That's kind of more like a work truck. We use it to haul people, and super fancy, super nice. I have a Porsche Macan S. We just wrapped pink. Super cool. It's outside right now.
Oh, that's what you drove.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll check it out.
It's like bubblegum pink
Wow.
and diamond white, and we painted the rims powder coated black, and it looks really fresh. Just got it back today.
Cool.
So that was a surprise for Liz. That's her car.
Oh, cool.
I wonder if I'm forgetting anything.
That's going to
This
be
is
a nice
crazy.
problem to have.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm forgetting anything.
How old are you?
Just turned 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What's your net worth?
Are you able to say?
I don't know. I'm not even sure.
So all
Like, is it like what's in my bank account network? Because I think it's more than that.
No,
Like,
it
I
would
think
be
you
it would be so yeah, so I say that kind of like jokingly to everybody on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because it's like my thing is what's your credit score? How many
Well,
credit
if you
cards do you have?
Google it, I'll tell you
What's
what
your-
happens if you Google it.
Oh,
Google say. Let's let Google say.
Let's see. Let's see how accurate
Let's
this
see.
is, and
Yeah,
we'll go
yeah.
over
Because
it.
there'll probably be other answers. So scroll through like the top few results, and we'll kind of average it maybe.
Do you
and
think
see.
people are out there like trying to calculate what your net worth is?
I bet
Oh,
you it's
yeah.
going to be lower than what it is. It's going to be lower.
I don't know
it's
actually.
pretty good. Three and a half million
3.5
is what
million.
Google says. Google says
I
3.5
could-
million.
I could
3.5.
3.5. I don't know, man, because I don't know about your investments. I don't know about you. I'm gonna say I don't want to. I'm gonna go and say
Google says
One
your
and
net
a
worth is
half.
6.5.
But what is okay? Can we just define
Yeah.
the definition?
so.
of
Okay,
net
so
worth?
net worth would be all of your assets minus whatever liabilities you have.
But is
so
an asset count as like my YouTube channel, which
No.
just
no,
currently chunk,
no,
like,
no,
makes
we're not
money?
gonna count that.
It would be like your
No.
cars minus any debt.
Like if
that
I
you have on
died
them.
today and my channel, or were to like everything dies today.
We're not counting your channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
so-
channel. So it would be whatever cash you have in the bank, whatever investments you have, whatever the values of your cars are. Do you have any loans or anything? No. So it would be the value of the cash in the bank, the cars, investments.
And then anything else that you may have that has value aside from like a YouTube channel
Could
or
be
your
like,
social.
yeah.
Because I don't think it's so fair to not count the YouTube channel. Because
That's what I
could
say.
sell it tomorrow for
Well, we
a
could do,
decent chunk of change.
well, we could do
Let's
two.
exclude
Let's
that.
exclude
But we
the
can
YouTube
exclude
channel,
if
and
I-
then
yeah.
we'll include it at the end.
Okay. And so wait, so you're asking me what?
Yeah, what
I don't know. I'd have to add it all up, but
I'm sure you have an
I
estimation.
mean, it's
Well,
more than a
we
million.
have all night.
Yeah, no,
we
it's-
have all night. We
it's
could
more
wait.
than a million. I'll open up
is,
all my like.
is this putting you in a weird position or something?
No, but I'm up. So I started investing.
Yeah.
and I'm up
Okay, cool.
like crazy. Just in the past few months, I'm up like 40% on my E-Trade.
Nice.
Crazy, killing it right now.
What investment?
Well, Tesla is going crazy.
Tesla. Yeah.
Nice.
I think I made 10 grand today on Tesla.
Good.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so you did $100 and something $1,000 in
How many
in
shares
Tesla.
of Tesla do you
No,
have?
I don't think I have 100,000.
Yeah, you do to make 10,000 because
No,
it
it
was
went
up
up
10
big.
10% today.
I'd have to see how much I put
Yeah.
in. I don't know if it's 100 though.
Do you have like what, like 40 grand in Tesla?
I would say closer to like like 40, 30.
40 grand, 100 shares. You can sell covered calls on Tesla.
I think I put
No,
10
no.
grand in Tesla last night before bed, and then today it went up big. So I
Nice.
threw a little bit in it, bumped
Yeah,
up
I think
again.
today it's up 10%.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. I watched
Good
this.
on you,
This is
dude.
what I do all day. man.
Congratulations.
I can see. I can check. I'll see. I'm
What
curious
I do
to know.
all day. Yep, 10%. 10.2. I was 0.2% off today.
Wow, Graham.
But look at this. Gosh, you know what's crazy? I bought in right after the announcement too of it hitting the S&P 500, and even then I'm like, oh, I'm buying high, but I'm just gonna hold it, and
And it went up again.
I'm up, like $30 something, $35 a share, on that, Tesla's remarkable.
Name one person that you know is actually down on Tesla. Okay, from holding Tesla.
That's Jack. Jack.
Yeah,
Are you?
I know someone.
Or no?
Me.
Jack.
You're down?
Yeah.
Me.
Like,
I'm
how?
down on Tesla. Okay,
Right,
so
even after it went up today.
yeah, dude, I've held, and I'm not like a short-term holder. Like I've had it for months, right? I bought it because so it was going up a lot right after the split, and I bought right at the peak. My average cost per share is like it's like $500 post split, which is like
I did not tell you to do that, by the way. So
no, you didn't.
I need
It
to
was my
absolve
own
myself
fault.
from this.
I
yeah.
went against everything that I've learned
Yeah.
in investing. You know, it just kept going up, and I figured, well, it's gonna keep going up, right? No, it doesn't. Okay,
You bought at the peak. Like as soon as you bought it,
yes,
the
that
whole
is
stock
the-
market was like,
Yeah.
all
So
You
right,
wrote
Jack
it
just
down.
bought. Yeah.
You wrote it all the way down.
Yeah, so I only put in $2,000, but somehow like 2 days later I was down $400. I literally at one point was down like $700 on a $2,000 investment, and that was like a couple weeks later on Tesla.
That's
and
fast.
so I've you know rode Tesla for a long time now, and now I'm only down $50. So that feels it feels-
Road Tesla.
I've rode Tesla. Everyone go get Rode NT1s. These are great
Yeah.
mics. But
Alright, so I do
Gosh.
have a decent chunk in Tesla.
all right, yeah.
it's over 100.
I figured.
Yeah.
See, yep,
over $100,000.
or 100. Yeah,
Yeah, like 100 grand. Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. You're
Yeah.
stoked.
So it's doing well. Yeah, I made like I said 11.6 today. That's pretty wild.
That's good.
That's like the first
Yeah.
like I'm just barely getting into stock market. Yeah.
So where else are you investing? Because we had a brief talk about this before, and you were saying that your biggest investment has been back in the channel,
Yeah.
trying to make more money.
Yeah.
Are you starting to diversify away from that?
I mean, a little bit in a sense. Like I want to get into real estate.
Okay.
I want to buy another property, but it's kind of like a content location property. It's like a lake house, right? So, I mean, personal use, would love to have it also, but amazing content I could film there. So that's sort of an investment that's diversified a little bit, but it's still very content focused.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like the more I spend on the videos, you know, the more that they make. You know, it's some kind of correlation.
At the same
So-
time, though, as you're making so much money, I think I'm sure you know this. Stowing away a lot, you know, would be really good.
Yeah,
it's-
I'm so paranoid. It's like the algorithm just has a little switch, and it's like switches off for a little bit, and it's like, oh, there it goes. How long is that going to take to switch
In all
back
honesty,
on?
though,
Yeah.
it seems like
Yeah.
you definitely know exactly what you're doing. I mean, you've been doing this for
Oh, yeah.
years now. You know,
I think it's definitely calculated, you know, my approach to things, definitely. But I agree. Like if it goes weird tomorrow, like, you know, things change fast. And so that's why, I mean, I've always been doing like SEP IRA stuff from day one, always trying to do the best I can for like setting up my retirement. And, you know, I've had some good people that, you know, on my team along the way, and I just slowly try to learn and absorb as much as I can about like taxes and investing. And, you know, now I'm looking into like real estate. So I'm learning about like loans, and, you know, there's so many different kinds of everything. And so, you know, really working on being better financially to set me up for long term, especially through like road bumps and, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I would even take for you like 20% of your income and just pretend it doesn't exist. That'll you'll be set for life.
Yeah.
Because I'm just, like I said, I'm just paranoid about the algorithm. So far, the algorithm's good. All hail the algorithm. But, oh, man, it sometimes just takes one or two bad videos in a row.
I would say 20% depending on your spending and depending on your income. So if all of your spending is really crucial to the business, by all means, I think obviously you're going to get way better ROI. And right now is the time to keep going on that. But would you say you have any like unnecessary spending in any area? Let's talk a little bit about frugality and spending.
I'm pretty frugal. I don't buy a lot of stuff. I mean, I buy cars. I love my cars. But, you know, apart from like the Lambo and stuff, they're pretty, you know, they're not the most expensive cars in the world. But yeah, I don't really buy a lot of stuff for myself. Like, you know, like the shoes and stuff that I wear are generally like the ones I got for my birthday like last year, and they're all like dirty and stuff like that. Like I never go shopping for myself. I never like get clothes and stuff like that. Like this was a gift. This was like a fancy shirt, you know. It's like the one off-white shirt that I own, and that was a Christmas present last year. I wear it all the time, you know. So I'm pretty frugal when it comes to that stuff. I spend most of my money. Like I just love projects, and each video is like a project. I love to build stuff. Like growing up, you know, like I taught myself to weld at 12. You know, my parents got me a welder for my 12th birthday, and just did that every day. Just would cut metal, build things, would build go-karts and mini bikes. Restored a Jeep before I had my driver's license, before I was 16. We still have it. Stuff like that. Like that's what I love to do. Like I'm kind of like didn't really grow up on a farm, but I'm kind of like a farm boy like that.
Do you watch Michael Reeves?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
reminds me of his robotics building videos.
Yeah, I think I can see there's a lot in common between us. He's definitely taken the robotic stuff that's a lot that I learned like throughout school to the very high level. He's very talented. So I have a huge appreciation for the stuff that he does because I understand all the disciplines that he gets into.
Yeah.
And it's very impressive to do all those different languages and combine all those different systems together to, make YouTube video. Also, his directing and editing skills are outstanding.
Yep.
Yeah,
those videos.
His videos are just put together so well.
Start
it's like
to
a movie.
finish.
Yeah.
Start to finish.
Yeah.
Awesome. Huge respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are very opposite too in the swearing. You don't swear.
I don't swear.
Every other word out of his mouth is a bad, is a
Editing
naughty
a
word.
video that Graham and him did together was gnarly.
I had to
wonder-
like cut some of these things mid-sentence and try to like mesh them together so it didn't sound like I was bleeping anything out.
Like in his natural language, like
Yep.
sitting here talking.
so much.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Every other word was like the F word.
Yeah. It was funny.
Yeah.
Like it was interesting to see
Yeah.
because even on a personal level, I know nobody that's like that. But
That's interesting.
It's funny though. It's really funny. And I asked, it's like, why don't you just not swear in your videos? And your videos would do like so much better. And it's just like, no, it's just him. That's it.
So, does he have low CPM?
Yes.
yeah, all of his income is pretty much sponsorships.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
But that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
it's a sacrifice that you make.
Right.
you know?
But
I
my
guess
thing was,
so, but, like,
yeah,
that turned off Graham.
it ran out of battery space, or not battery space, storage space. I got to delete some other stuff on there.
I mean, it's up to you. Do you want to roll with it or what?
I think we say we just roll with it.
Okay.
Yeah. But but I asked him, like, just don't swear. No. But it makes sense. Part of his appeal, I think, is just in his vocabulary, and it makes it really. It's fun. It's funny.
It is definitely part of his like his humor and his brand, which I think helps him set apart. But at the loss of like low CPM or not monetized, that's a big trade off.
Right.
So he's got to have great relationships with sponsorships. Like I couldn't function only on sponsors. I really don't do a lot of brand deals. I'm getting more into it now, and the last couple months have been awesome. Liz, on the other hand, crushes brand deals. But like I couldn't function. My primary income definitely comes from AdSense for sure. Yeah, huge part.
So do you go out of your way then to make sure you don't swear? Or is it pretty natural that you just don't?
No, it's pretty
curse?
natural.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't sweared once being here, and I'm not like catching myself, right? Like I just I don't. I mean, I a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Just like in my normal life. So on videos, like if I stub my toe, like I might kind of have a little bit more of a tendency to want to, but I just have made so many videos that it's easy.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's necessary at all. Like I don't think it enhances the viewing experience, but it certainly can decrease it for some audience members.
Do you cut it out if you do end up swearing?
We'll just do another take or
Stub your toe again.
yeah,
Go fall again.
yeah. We'll work around it. I mean, it's so infrequent and it's so minor
Right,
when
right.
it does happen, or if a guest does, that maybe is a less where like we like to keep it clean, and that's our brand, and people really appreciate that, especially parents of younger audience members. They love to know like, hey, your content is super clean. I don't have to worry about you guys like cursing and stuff.
Yeah.
Jack has to constantly hold back all the time.
That's
I'm like,
not
Jack-
true. Do I have a potty mouth, Graham?
No.
No, not at all. I'm very clean.
Believe it or not, my early videos had a lot of swearing in them.
Yeah. Graham
Like a
would
lot of
swear a
swearing.
lot.
Oh, geez. I just thought it was fun. And it got people's attention.
It does.
And it was so different from everything else on YouTube because you'd have these very serious finance people that were so uptight. And then I'd come on like, what's up, you guys? This, F this. And it
Yeah.
just made all these jokes. And people loved it in the beginning.
But you cut it out. The video you filmed with him, you cut it all out and made it clean, or
No, so I privated some of the earlier videos that had an obscene amount of swearing in them. And then I turned things around about 6 months in. And it was because the YouTube channel started getting more views, and I was still making my primary income as a real estate agent. And I didn't want that to impact my business as a real estate agent. If people saw me on YouTube just going and like swearing and making kind of like potty jokes, I didn't want that to impact me on that side. So I just stopped it all together. And then I've gotten such a habit now of that where I just naturally just don't swear anymore.
It's good though. Like I
Yeah.
saw a
Yeah.
comment because we used to have a placard, like a nameplate
Oh,
on Graham's
yeah.
desk that said "Do epic S word," Okay, and we
yeah,
ended
I
up
think I've seen
removing
that.
that.
Yeah.
And then I saw a comment on the video that we changed the placard out,
Yeah.
and it said, it was like, thank you so much. You don't know how like important this is to me, because now I can put on these videos when my kid is in the room. And I'm just like, wow. Like,
Yeah, see,
like
that's-
seeing
Yeah,
a comment
and it-
like
and it
that,
doesn't
that
take-
they can
yeah.
now watch it with their kids. That's huge. You know
That
what
was
I
my
mean?
original complaint when I first started making videos. There's a lot of people who were telling me like I can't play, like, or like my 12-year-old was watching your thing, and then I heard the F word, and I had to have him take it off, which is a shame because I like the information. But please stop swearing, or give us a heads up that like there's going to be bad language. Because I had the video playing in front of like my family. And can imagine the reaction. Hey, let's see how this guy makes passive income, and then it's just like a whole bunch of swearing, right? But yeah, stop swearing. Didn't really change the videos much. People enjoyed it. Same with the nameplate. The nameplate I kept for years, and it was changed because the algorithm decided to demonetize the video because of that little word on the screen. And I figured, well, it's not worth it. Let's go and change it to something else, and the new sign is just as good. No difference.
That's interesting. So it actually registered like that.
I never expected it. I never had that before, and I was so upset because I had 100% rating accuracy for my for monetization, and I said this video was suitable for all advertisers, and then a manual review found it not to be, and they docked me on that, and so I don't have a 100% accuracy rating anymore. I was really upset about that. So,
well, that's why don't curse. It's a good lesson, for you guys. If
but
you want
I
to
didn't think on a little nameplate. Because I
Yeah.
didn't curse. It's just a word on the screen in a nameplate.
Right.
Yeah. No,
mean,
it's
it's still-
interesting. Well,
yeah.
YouTube's
Makes it
getting
explicit.
smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's YouTube is successful as a platform because they have great relationships with brands. So when brands get upset, then YouTube has less AdSense and money to pay, and then creators will make less content, and so they need to be very tight with all the brands. And so they need to be very strict on like cursing and things that the brands don't want their ads to play over.
Yeah.
I think one of the big things that happened for the adpocalypse early on was like people would make like this videos or something, and then there would be like a Honey Nut Cheerio commercial that would come up or
Right.
whatever. So I know like Walmart pulled out, Coca-Cola pulled out, and
I don't know how much of that, though, was to save face for those companies versus their actual concern over those matters. I have a feeling a lot of it, people were looking at the companies like, hey, do you endorse this? And obviously they go, well, no, we don't endorse this, so we got to pull out.
well, it's the brand association in a way. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. How much is it? What? How did I word this? I blanked on this. Are
It's
you
the,
listening, Jack?
Yeah.
Jack was tuning in the entire
I'm
time.
listening, I'm
No, it's the
listening, yeah.
brand. So it's like, it's subliminal, I guess. But like, if you see like a crazy video, and then like an ad comes up, it seems like they're kind of related or being sponsored by that.
But I'm weird like that. But like, I never put the two and two together. I like if I watch Nelk, for instance, whatever ads I see on Nelk's channel, if we see any anymore, I never think that like, oh, they're endorsing Nelk. I see that as
No,
just
it's
like
the same
that.
exact
That's
thing
an
as
ad.
like an ad read or like an actual sponsorship, because in certain sponsors, like they want to make sure that in the video it doesn't contain some sort of like illicit material.
I
or
don't
something
know,
like
but
that.
I just wouldn't see that as an endorsement.
What about-
I would just see
think
that
about
as
But it's the
like,
same
though.
thing. It's the exact same thing.
Think about the opposite way, where they pay an actor to say a certain thing in their commercial. You get like a football, NFL player or something to like push the Cheerios or whatever. You see that. That obviously is a brand association. Okay, so what if it appears on his video and it's just the ad, but it's on his video? Then it's connected. I
it's
think
essentially this
I
exactly.
think
that's what I
they're
was saying.
worried about it. Maybe not for you as an individual, but maybe as a population or demographics are more like prone to like, oh, I don't know why this is supporting, or vice versa, why Honey Nut Cheerios is supporting. That's weird.
maybe cut out the ad.
Okay, so this might be a little abstract, but one thing that really fascinates me is the character of different content creators and how, like, what character traits they have used to help them get to where they are today. Because like every time that I meet someone that's like successful on YouTube, their personal character is so different than anyone I know in my own life. Like, say I know like 30 people, I have 30 friends. All of their characters are like somewhat similar. But like every time I meet someone who has like a successful YouTube channel, it's so different. Like Graham was, no, I'm not saying you're different
Yeah.
than what I thought of you, but just you're like, I haven't met many people at all that are just like you, And same goes for a lot of the
Wait,
other
so you're saying I was different from
no,
YouTube
not
or
than
no?
from what I expected. Just like
Oh.
in person, like you just your character is just different than from what
Okay.
A lot of people I've met, and same goes for you. Like it seems like I'm just fascinated what like your character, how that has allowed for you. You think to get to where you are today?
Like my personal character,
Your traits,
like,
personality,
as me or as like on camera, because I feel like there's also some people are like
as
I'm
you, not as what's on camera.
okay. I think it's huge. I think it's really big. I've always felt unique. I always just felt like different than all my friends and stuff. Like I always just kind of felt that. I don't know. I've always been very largely creative, and then in college I was diagnosed with like learning disabilities, which is something that I never really knew about. So I'm like dyslexic, ADD, and like some decoding things. So I'm like really bad at reading, and I never I always just struggled through it, and it wasn't so bad that's like, yo, this kid can't read. So I always just like struggled in school, but I always found that I think it's because of those things I'm very creative, because my brain just works differently, and I've always noticed that from a very young age. I've been very like ADD, for example, I feel like it's very misunderstood, but I'm like, I can get super obsessive and hyper focused. So if I'm like filming a video or just get into YouTube, I'll just like obsess over it, and nothing else in my life exists except for YouTube. And I'll just go like 100 miles an hour on it. So I feel like I'm very good at like getting stuff done that way when I'm focused. And then being like dyslexic and like seeing things backwards and stuff, I am very creative. And I think I get that from my mom, and she's an artist. And so I can come up with like really interesting ideas that people like wouldn't come up with. I feel like a lot of like as like a population, and lots of people are very similar. I'm like one or kind of like on the outlier, just being a unique, different kind of like cognitive process, I guess, the way like I think through stuff. So I think that's made me a unique person and had interesting perspectives to things. And I think that's absolutely helped me take a unique approach to content and stuff like that. And so you saying that like I am different, like I believe that,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I like to be different. I strive to be different. I think like being normal and fitting in is like, I don't like that,
Yeah.
to some extent, for some things. But so I think it's huge, definitely.
Yeah, it was fascinating because the way that you think, and from the video that I watched of you, it's like you come off as having such like a laser focus on certain things. And like even like talking to you right now, it seems like you could have some sort of laser focus, but at the same time, the type of content that you create, like I feel like that requires a little bit of a like sporadic mindset. You know what I mean?
Definitely very sporadic, yeah. Which I think is also a little bit very descriptive of like my mindset. Like I'll bounce and I'll be obsessed with this car for like 3 weeks. I won't sleep because I'm so obsessed with like researching. Like for the Countach, I probably lost like 3 weeks of sleep. Couldn't think. I couldn't barely even film videos. I was just so obsessed with
Probably
researching.
wasn't like financially worth it.
No, it's not. It's dangerous. So I'm working on like taming that. But I just get so crazy obsessed. I'll stay up till like 4 a.m. just doing stuff. And so part of my decision was, just buy this car so you can stop thinking about it and get back to making videos.
So what? Like at least
Well, I made money on the first one and I sold it, so like it wasn't that good. This one's more expensive, but like part of it was like, I don't think it's a great idea. But then the other part, and talking to my friends, like, dude, just go buy that car. Just buy it today. I think Liz was like, just buy the car. Like you can afford it. We'll make videos. Worst case, you'll sell it for something lesser than you bought it for, but we'll make as much content to try to fix it. But at least you get back into the office and we can make content, so stuff like that. But also even within content, I'll have like, building the Lego yacht, and then I'll do some like something completely like a prank thing, like just bouncing around like this, know.
Did that just turn off? Yeah, that's fascinating.
Well, I guess here's another thought I just had is like, I can't focus on anything unless I obsess on it.
That's an ADD thing.
That's an ADD thing, I think, right? Like you can't just like give me like something normal and just give me 10. No, I need to like really obsessed on it. So one thing I'm actually excited about is I'm starting to get like obsessive with like investing in stock markets, which is something I'd been putting off since the start of my career. I'd just been like sitting money in the bank, losing to depreciation, not working for me, which I know is bad. But I'm like, okay, I don't have time to think about it. But now I'm like getting into it, and I'm hoping that continues so I can really like set myself up.
Like there's definitely a balance. I'm sure for you, your time's probably best spent just creating content and just being the face of like the Carter share.
But I can't just have like, the money that I made just sit there and lose. Like I had to like at least put it in a money market, which I haven't even done.
You have a financial advisor and stuff?
No, not yet.
Gotta get
Man.
I mean, honestly, you don't even
Do
need
you
one.
pay like 1%
You don't.
for that? Or
You don't.
No, you just pay
Gosh,
fixed
1%. No, you don't even need that.
I mean, yeah, realistically, you don't need it. Just put
No.
like 80% index fund.
Yep.
And then like 20% you can play around with on Robinhood or something. Maybe like a few percent in like bonds.
It's
or something
easy.
Like that.
It's easy.
I mean,
Make a Fidelity account and just do one of their Fidelity free index funds.
You have any questions? We can answer them right here. We can answer them after the podcast, whenever you want.
Yeah, you want to just set up my full portfolio and just get me set for life?
We literally
I
will.
do, yeah.
We literally
So-
will.
All right, great. I brought all
Yeah.
my paperwork and
How much you want to invest?
It should be a set percentage out of your income that you
like I have a
as
lot
disposable.
of like money in the bank that I just don't need
Yeah. How much?
a lot.
7 figures or 6?
7.
Oh, jeez, man.
Yeah.
Why didn't you invest this sooner?
Well, because I guess you missed that.
Okay.
But like, I just haven't gotten to. it
Okay,
yet.
so I would say of this, did you already pay your taxes for this year? Okay, so
For this year, I don't know.
you pay
but
quarterly.
yeah.
okay. So what I would say is,
I mean, I have a lot to play with.
invest half of it. I think your other half
It's scary
keep
to
it
invest
keep
half
it cash.
because-
Dollar cost average it for you. Dollar
Yes,
cost average.
that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm also doing it just to kind of like ease myself into trusting putting it somewhere versus somewhere where I know it'll sit.
Yeah. So what I would do is take 50,000 a month or 100,000 a month of that, and just index fund it. A total stock market index fund,
Which is
with
what, like
Fidelity.
S&P 500 or something?
It's going to be everything. So yeah, we'll
Like
call it-
QQQ, is that one?
QQQ is a little bit more targeted towards
VUG.
tech.
VUG is what I use. It's
VUG,
very,
okay.
very good.
But Fidelity has one. It's just a total stock market index fund. It covers everything in the stock market, and just throw 50 to 100,000 a month in that fund on a set day. Don't even look at it. So you're not trying to like time the market and be
Yeah.
like, oh, it's down extra today. Let me throw more. Just consistently on the first of the month, the third of the month, whatever. Just consistently buying that fund. Keep the other half of it in cash, because if you want to buy real estate or a good deal comes along or something where you need cash.
So you are suggesting keeps a good
Yes,
chunk
I
in
would.
cash.
Yeah, I would. Especially if you want to buy real estate. That leaves you with enough leftover that gives you some mobility on that. You're going to be totally fine. You're going to have 6 months worth of your expenses in the bank. And I think that would be fine.
Okay, that's cool.
But invest half of it.
I would
I'm
s-
working on that, yeah.
I think for right now, like figure out what price point you're looking for in real estate, and kind of set aside probably like, whatever, like 30%, 40%
Yeah.
of that. And then aside from that, I would say don't do like $100K a month, because if you're sitting on 7 figures, it could take you like, I mean, I'm sure your income is still going to be contributing to your bank account. So you're literally like, I would say like you should like a weekly basis maybe.
Like I need to catch up first.
Yeah. Like start up a little faster, maybe like 50K a week is what I would say.
You
Yeah.
could do that,
And then
honestly.
so it's
It'd
like
be totally
200K a
fine.
month, because at this rate, if you're doing like $100,000 a month, I'm sure you're probably making way more than that. So you're just throwing that in your bank account, and you're going to be investing like way
Yeah,
less.
and that's the thing too. This cash, if you're talking about investing some of the money that you're making, this cash is going to stay the same. If anything,
Exactly.
it's not going to. You're not going to be able to deplete that money fast
It's going to
enough.
keep piling up.
Yeah,
so
so
I had to put in more.
do like 50K, maybe even 75K a week or something like that, and then kind of start slowing down as your funds start like getting lower.
That's sort of what I've been doing is like, anytime I put something in, it's usually around like 10K.
It's not enough.
But I've been trying to
It's-
do
yeah.
that like every day or twice a day. I'll kind of, every time I'm on the app, I'm just kind of slowly getting in. Because I'm just scared that I put my money in, let's say all of it or a big chunk of it.
it
The
goes
stock
down.
market goes down 10%. And then that's also the same moment that this house project, opens up and I'm ready for a down payment, but I'm down. And then when that money goes away, I can't let it grow back
Well,
up.
keep a good solid 30%. You're going to probably want to take a mortgage out on that house, so you're not going to need like a huge amount of money.
Right.
So like a solid 30% or so for a down payment, whatever
Yeah.
price point you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, just catch up a little bit.
Yeah. So I got pre-approved for a mortgage for 2.75%. 30-year
Amazing.
fixed.
That's a really. I got 2.875. So you're getting a really good deal.
Yeah. And I think, and that was a few months ago for a house I was going to buy and it fell through in escrow. So now I'm looking at another one that we're working on. So I'm wondering if our interest rates better than like 3 months ago.
They've gone up a little bit.
They've gone up.
They've gone down, and then the last 2 weeks has gone up.
I wonder if I'm still locked in for that. I might.
No, usually if you do a rate lock, most of those rate locks are for 45 to 60 days. Sometimes you can get up to 90 days if you pay extra and you tell them in writing you want a rate lock
Okay,
extended.
so I may not
but
even get 2 points.
But even then, no. You would get
You'll still get a good rate.
you'd get a good rate, but they
Yeah.
would have to redo it on today's interest rates,
which could be different.
which could be different
But
because you
it's
got to
not
think. Yeah,
significantly, but
Like
No,
it's still low right now.
I'm talking below 3. I mean, you would be if you got 275 back then, you'd probably be at 2.8 to 2.95. So we're talking very good rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't a big misstep
No.
or anything. You're fine.
Yeah.
You might be able to get the same rate, by the way.
That'd be
So I'm just
awesome.
saying, but rates have gone up a little bit.
Yeah,
in the
because I
last
think
few
that's
weeks.
going to be like the cheapest money.
Yep.
What area are you looking in?
What do you mean?
Area, like to buy the real estate.
This is a lake house. It's
Is it here in California?
yeah.
That's
It's
cool.
in Bakersfield. It's like a very unique property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to get you to move to Vegas.
Vegas. Okay, yes, it's in Vegas. We should change
You should-
Bakersfield to Vegas so no one else tries to look at this property and the
That would be
demand goes up
smart.
before I get into
It's
it.
it's in Vegas, everyone.
Yeah. You should
Lake
move to
House in
Vegas.
Vegas. Put
That-
that-
Buy
put
up
that
properties
in.
in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Vegas,
It's a
California.
hot market.
It's in Vegas, California.
You should go to Vegas at some point. I'm gonna convert you
To live in Vegas.
to live in Vegas.
Well,
You'd save a lot of money.
I would love to have my residency there, but then just be here, which is very hard, I think.
It's hard once you're already here. If you were from another state and you come in here and you're not a full-time resident, you come and visit, make some videos, go back, you're not in their system. But the fact that you've been living here, filing tax returns here, you're on the radar now, and they expect you to keep doing that.
Yep.
They want their money.
They want their money.
But I'm good, like I like California.
That's fair enough.
You had more time here. You grew up in Santa Monica,
did.
right? So you've been here for many, many years. This is only my second year. So
How much importance do you put on having like a lot of money in 10, 20, 30 years? Like, is that really important to you?
I think so. And I'm not like, some like money hungry person. I think it's just like, it's opportunity. It's comfort of living. But so yeah, I would like to be well off. I think my idea of retirement is to have enough money being paid either passively or through investments or something where I'm making a considerable amount, but not doing anything.
Do you have any idea of what amount? Because we could just tell you.
I'd like
how
to
much
do like $100,000 a month,
100 grand a month.
just passively, just coming in the door.
So
That
you're
would
gonna
be
need.
sweet.
I mean, you're gonna need a lot.
Yeah, wait, 100 grand a month, so you would need about 20 million.
Okay, so
20
15
million,
to 20
maybe.
million.
then I'll work until I
Yeah.
get there, I guess. If
I'd say about
possible,
20
yeah.
million.
And you
Yeah.
can build up to that as long as you have compound interest index funds working in your favor. You can build up to that. It's very
Actually,
very
maybe more like 30 million.
30.
It depends how long you want that to last you for. Probably
I
about
want it
30
to
million
be-
would be a little bit safer.
What do you mean by last? Well, like saying it that it depletes over
Yes,
time?
exactly. So if you want just that amount in passive income that you could spend no matter what for basically the rest of your life,
Okay.
depends how long you're going to live for.
Well, if you had $10 million, let's say, and you made, what's like the average stock market return?
8%.
Let's say 8%. Well, really, it's more like 6.5 to 7 after inflation. Let's say 7%.
Okay, 7%. That would be $700,000 a year divided by 12 months. That's $58,000 coming in the door.
Yep.
Every month, pretty on average. So, some months higher than others. But if you have enough sitting to kind of like buffer that for the slow months, and then
But here's the thing: you're never supposed to spend all of it.
Because you also want it to be growing at the same time.
okay,
So you
Because-
usually want to
yeah.
use 5%.
Because sometimes they have 20-year stock market returns where they don't do 7%, where maybe the return is more like 3%, 3.5%. And then you have some years where it's 15%. So the simulation is called the Trinity study, and they studied every 20-year rolling period of the S&P 500 ever in history. And they calculated that on average, yes, it's been about 7% after inflation, but the best years were like 13%, and the worst years were, I think it was 0.5% with inflation. It was the worst 20-year period ever. So they want to be conservative on that and make sure that over 20, 30 years, you'll guarantee to have money left over. So usually for that, they recommend like 4%. That's how
Okay.
much you could
in
actually spend
retirement,
without.
it's very important to be conservative. with
Right.
your investments.
So 4% is how much you could realistically spend without worrying about running out of money, even during a bad stock market. The best case scenario, you have a surplus of money.
yeah, okay. So maybe the better way to do it is have some in the stock market that chugs along, but then have other things like businesses that are set up that are fully automated and self-running.
With real estate, you wouldn't need 20 million because you could leverage a little bit of your money. But it's still, 20 million is a good amount to shoot for. 15 million would be pretty. If you have 15 million sitting, like not liquid, but like basically
assets
of
or-
of net worth.
of net worth.
Yeah.
But a lot of net worth doesn't do any work for you. Like having
invest.
Well, as in like net worth, as
Invested.
in like assets minus any debt that you may owe.
Now, it would be 50 million invested because if you have 50 million in a car, for instance,
yeah, that's not doing
that's
much
not
for you.
good.
Right,
But
yeah,
like
you want,
15
like,
million
it working
invested.
for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15 million
Invested.
invested.
Okay, well, how would it invest? Like, how would owning houses? I guess you would charge
That would be
rent and then have
real
cash
estate.
flow.
Real
Exactly,
estate, yeah,
yeah.
Or
rental property.
Rental properties.
And it would be good because then you would need less money because you could always put a down payment like 20 or so % on a house and then be having
Yeah,
that
I don't know.
work.
I mean, those are fun numbers to kind of think about. I guess at the end of the day, like retirement, I would love to have myself set up. I love Malibu, so I'm ultimately going to try to find a place out there, but like buy it and have it paid off. So then I'm just paying, I guess, property tax and.
You don't want to pay it off, though. You want to have that loan. It's a tax write-off.
would be good for you.
Yeah,
Well,
it's free money.
I guess that's sort of
It's
what
free
I mean.
money.
That's what I mean. Is like okay. So maybe I'm learning. So
Yeah. You always want to take loans.
Yeah, loans
Anytime
are
you get a
great.
loan,
Yeah.
take a loan because on a mortgage you're getting, let's say, call it even 3%. Inflation is probably going to be about 2%. That means you're only paying 1% interest on that money before tax write-offs. That's really cheap versus investing that money. Even if you get 3% somewhere else, 4%, you get the profit the difference. So you're making money by keeping the loan.
So could you just get a loan just to like put in the stock market and stuff?
You could.
You can borrow money.
Here's
in
what
the
I
market,
do.
but it's more dangerous.
Here's what I do. I put as little down in real estate as possible. So on the Vegas place, I put 15% down. I got the biggest loan I can, so I have more money left over to invest in the stock market. So I'm not borrowing money directly to invest in stocks, but I'm putting as little money down in real estate as possible, so I have more money left over. Same with this. Like
That makes sense.
I don't ever pay extra towards the principal. I just pay the bare minimum, 30-year fixed, invest the difference, put as little money down as possible.
Yeah.
If you wanted to borrow money to put into the stock market, it's a little bit more aggressive, but since you are young, I don't think it's like the worst idea. You could use a different brokerage, like M1 Finance. I know is really good.
but then you get issues
what are
with
the
margin
rates?
calls.
Right, but
If
that's in the event that like
it's usually prime rate plus like a little bit. Sometimes they'll offer discounts. Like
they'll
Charles
do 2%
Schwab
right now
That's M1 Finance will do 2%.
on 33% of your portfolio. So if you have 10 million I guess like 12 million invested, then that's of the equivalent of like 15 million.
It's risky. I personally wouldn't.
I don't know. I'm not strictly
wouldn't.
advising you to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm just saying if you wanted to get more action out of your money, your income is very, very strong. So
I would just be worried about a margin call on that. Just in case the markets drop like 50%, something crazy happens, and all of a sudden they're come knocking, hey, we need our loan
Right.
back.
it's very
just-
aggressive. It's
Yeah.
very
What
aggressive.
okay, so I got pre-approved for the 2.75 for like a $2 million loan or something for a house, right? But if I had got that same to, let's say, put in the stock market, it's not that hard to beat 2.5%.
You won't get that loan for the stock. You'll get that for real estate because real estate is a safe investment, and no matter what happens, they have that land and they have the structure to go after. So they use that house as collateral, just like they
Okay.
would use your stocks as collateral if they gave you a loan on that. Real estate is very safe, and that's why they can give you a 30-year fixed rate loan at such a low interest rate.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
With stocks,
if it goes down,
they have the
Yeah.
right to say, hey, you're getting pretty low. We need some cash right now to hedge our position. Real estate, they're not going to do that. Real estate, that house could drop 90% in value. They're never going to call that loan.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess that makes sense of like why that would be such a low interest rate.
So if I were you, I'd put as little down in real estate as possible. Invest more. That's all you need to do. It's just invest more of your money.
Invest more, yeah.
Just get in the habit of doing it. The scariest part is just in the beginning.
Yeah, that's
And
where I'm at
once
now.
you get into it, like give it 2 months, it's not going to seem like a big deal.
nothing,
Yeah, exactly.
As the graphs kind of start to average over the
Right.
days, and I mean, I understand the principle. Like, my best friend went to Wharton, so he loves finances and investing and stuff like that. So like I get the high level stuff. I understand principles and how it works. It's just scary when it's like I worked so hard and
I know.
sacrificed everything to be where I'm at, and here's the chunk of change I have. I don't want to put it in and have it go down 50%.
Yeah.
Or like,
Statistically, you have a 66% chance of doing what's called lump sum investing, where you take all the money and just invest it all at once. 66% of the time, you'll make more money doing that than dollar cost averaging.
really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
because on average the stock market goes up.
Yeah.
every year.
You'll have more green days than red.
Yeah.
So more often than not, the sooner you get in, the more profitable it'll be.
So
overall.
that's how it works mathematically.
Right. So you have a 33% chance of, hey, you put all your money in and bad timing, next year is down a lot. But for odds like that, like if you go to a casino and they say, hey, 66% of the time you bet on this, you're going to make money. Overall, that's pretty smart to take that bet. And you wouldn't just be investing once and never again. Realistically, what you do, you have a big lump sum, you dump it in the market, and you make it a consistent habit every single month or every week.
But then it kind of starts going to cost averaging or cost dollar averaging.
But that's the point of investing. Right now, you have a big amount that's sitting there cash. It's what to do with that big amount.
Yeah.
So overall, it's not going to make that big of a deal whether you dump it all in at once or you dollar cost average, because long term, you're going to be investing for the next 20 years anyway. So it's not going to make a huge difference.
That makes sense.
What helps me is knowing that like I have full faith in like an understanding that on average the stocks just will go up. It's just a matter of time of like how long it will take to make a profit. And if you understand that like regardless of whatever happens, as long as you hold for a long time, you will be up. You know what I mean? I'm obviously not. I will never give a 100% guarantee, but like I can give the Jack guarantee. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it will, you'll be
The
good.
napkin guarantee.
And to have the Jack guarantee on something like that, and to have an understanding and full faith in that, it just makes it a lot easier.
Okay, well now that I have the Jack guarantee, I'm just gonna dump it all in, lump sum, and I'll call you guys tomorrow if I'm up or down.
Yeah.
Probably lose
what
that
makes it
many.
easier?
30%.
What makes it easier for me is that I know even if the market does go down, you'll keep making money, and that's your chance to reinvest at a lower price. So even though, initially you might not have gotten the best deal, you'll end up making more money long term. Like I remember when I was buying into the S&P when it was like 35, and I bought big chunks at 35, and then it went down to like 33. I bought bigger chunks at 33, and now it's 36 something. So yeah, I mean it goes up and down. So I even when it was at 3, I was buying big. That's when I did those $50,000 increments for YouTube videos, and I remember hitting 3 and be like, that's maybe it's gonna go down, but it doesn't matter. Back then, people were worried about it going down.
The most important thing is just like consistent investing.
Yeah.
That'll do you well.
Mm-hmm. What is the secret to the stock market?
Consistency.
Yeah.
Being diligent, not pulling out when it goes down. Never pull out.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, you never. Okay, so you never said what you thought my net worth.
Oh worth. Yeah. I'm gonna guess 2.5.
I'm gonna guess as well.
Okay.
I have to think about it for 1 second. I'm gonna say it's probably around 3.2.
3G. What did Google say?
4.5.
Oh, it said 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No channel. The channel we could yeah.
I don't know the actual answer.
You would basically take the amount of cash you have in the bank, the amount of cash you have invested, the value of the cars. You don't have any debt. Whatever your cash and asset value are.
Yeah.
That's what it would be.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably like 3+.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're closer, Jack. Congrats.
What do I win? $1?
I'll give you $1.
Thanks, man.
I'll give you
I
$1.
paid him so many dollars. We make all these bets, and I always lose. He wins, and it's always $1. So
this wasn't even a bet, though. If it were a bet, I would have placed a lot more.
You don't owe me $1.
Would have had a lot more thought on this answer.
I think the way Google probably did it is looked at my total channel views and multiplied it by an average CPM of like 2.75 or 3 or something like that.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's pretty accurate for Google.
But that's also like pre-tax.
That is true.
And pre-expense. There's expenses and then taxes are huge. So I guess it's like that would be like they're really saying half that, also minus expenses, or minus expenses first and then half that.
Right. Because your videos could be expensive. What's the average cost you would say for one of your videos?
It's pretty low.
Really?
I don't spend a lot of money.
I guess for me it's a lot. I hear $4,000 Lego sets. I'm wow, $4,000.
Not as much as Eric.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I would like to talk to him about that. But yeah, like the $4,000 Lego. I initially for the first set of these giant Legos that we got, and they're so cool. They're just literally giant Legos, and you can build huge things and climb on them and stuff. We probably spent around like $4,000. From China, great deal. Way cheaper than if you got something similar in the U.S. But then we probably made over I think Phil knows the numbers more, but like over 1,000% return, maybe 2,000% return, just an excessive amount. Like we've done so many videos that have gone so viral with that same set of Legos. So yeah, I spent 4,000 on the first video, and that probably broke even or something. And then the next one, then Liz filmed a few, those went viral. Those probably doubled the, 100% return, and then 200%. And then we hit like one that hits like 22 million views, and that probably more than 10x is the return alone in just that one video.
Wow.
And then it just keeps going. We just keep using them. And so I do a lot of investments where like I'll buy something for like a few $1,000s, or, sometimes it's like a new car or equipment or cameras, but then we'll just use it all the time.
It's better than stock market returns.
That's true.
Things.
It definitely is. Actually, so I was talking with financial advisors because I knew I wanted one. Ended up not feeling comfortable. So I feel like I had to kind of do it myself. But they were, I'd tell them about like, how much do you spend? So I told them I'd spend this, and this is how much that video would make. They're like, dude, that's more than I could do in the stock market in a year.
Yeah.
Significantly more. And I'm like, so I started kind of thinking more about it. And some of the investors that I was interviewing to work with were kind of saying that, like, dude, your biggest return is like, you need to spend more on your videos, because every time you invest into one of your videos, it returns so much more. And when I don't spend money on like new props and things, there's less to film with, or, less whatever, and so it ends up.
I just think it's diversifying. It's that you have something to fall back on should something happen. You have something a little different than YouTube.
Yes.
And even if you invest 20% of your income, just to invest it, spend 80% back on YouTube, again, you'd be set.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. I feel like I've just been so hyper-focused on everything. And now I'm finally growing the team enough to be able to offboard a lot of the tasks that I normally do every day. So I have more time in my life to kind of think about the next thing. Like, hey, do I want to buy like a duplex and rent it out, or, some kind of real estate, which I find very interesting, real estate, or maybe some other venture that, comes around. But I totally agree. Like if YouTube goes down, how do I diversify? So right now I'm trying to diversify within the platform. So if YouTube goes down, I could be like, hey, over here on TikTok, this is what happened. Here's the update. People, like, I'm not radio silent.
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. I'm trying to work on those platforms. But then even outside of all of social media, I feel like I need like something too.
I mean, it's smart. Start a financial YouTube channel now.
Yeah.
You could do some crazy investing, like stunts like that. I've wanted to do stunts like that where you give everyone $5,000 and just like see how much money they can make on Robinhood. I think stuff like that would be kind of fun. I just wouldn't do it, but you could start doing crazy financial stunts.
Real life Monopoly.
Who could get the most credit cards in 24 hours wins.
Yeah.
We've done who can make the most money.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
And it was like 24 hours or some number of hours we did. Yeah.
Who made the most money?
I think, you know what? It was Liz.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much did she make?
So Stove and I don't think I was a part of the challenge, or we teamed up or something. So I was helping him. We went down to like Hollywood and he was like dancing in a costume we made like $20 because fans recognized us. We made like, I don't know, $40 or something. It was pretty surprising. So all Liz did was opened up YouTube or Instagram and live streamed and made like, I don't know, $400 in an hour from live streaming from donations. And so she just sat there.
Why can't Instagram do that with donations?
How much? $800.
$800
in an hour?
In like an hour and a half, $800 sitting there on YouTube live streaming. Or was it YouTube? Yeah, YouTube live streaming. You donate. Oh, you donated it, yeah. Well, yeah, she said it.
Yeah. That's.
But still, like without that, then it would have been $650. You know what I mean? There's like a little push for the other stuff. But
That's
like,
crazy.
yeah, I mean, we're out there. We drove. We had to spend money on gas. We have a costume. We're embarrassing ourselves. We got recognized by fans, which is always tough to navigate when you're like filming and trying to get content done on a crunch, and then you're trying to take time for photos, all kinds of stuff. Like bumping into people. Like, it was crazy that day. We come home with like $42 and 20 of them I donated to Stove. You know what I mean? And so like I think Ryan literally made no money. So it's just it's crazy.
Wow.
It's very interesting. And so that's why it's hard to not put a lot of emphasis and focus on YouTube and the stuff that we do, because it's very lucrative. I can spend all this trying to like do some other side gig, and now I'm making less over here because of the lack of attention. And over here, maybe I'm lucky to make $1,000 a month. So it's really tough to diversify when the main is it's just like cranking hard.
Yeah.
And, may not crank hard forever, but doing the best we can to keep going,
How do you not get burnt out?
I think I'm probably burned out right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I'm battling that.
So how do you push through? Do you do it anyway?
Yeah, I kind of do it every day. That's not the solution.
Yeah.
And it will catch up to you. So I'm navigating that. So I'm trying to so right now I'm offloading. I'm bringing on more people. I literally just hired 3 people like a few days ago. To just start doing less because I need to have other people. Like that's kind of what the burnout is, right? You're doing things that you just like are exhausted to do, or you're doing too much, or both.
Do you think you're burnt out because it's not a challenge anymore to do something viral, to do these crazy stunts?
I think a little bit in that vein, but it's more like I'm just so tired of all the nitty gritty that nobody knows about behind the scenes. I mean, because you're a YouTuber and stuff. And I'm just so excited to get on to the next stuff. But I have all this, like now that it's grown into such an operation,
Baggage and stuff.
so much baggage, so much of a business to run, which I like, but it's hard to be a business and the talent at the same time. But before when we started, it was just my iPhone and I would go and film. It had nothing else, no other responsibilities, nothing to think about. And now I have like a legal team, we have a CPA team, we have all these employees, we have a house, we have rent, we have all these logistics, we have all these channels.
What's your
and scheduling.
overhead? That's got to be like $100,000 a month to run that.
Yeah, probably. Something like that.
Gosh, I mean, I would get stressed, so stressed knowing that like every day you have to bring in a certain amount. Maybe I'm making the problem worse.
Yeah, I mean,
That's got to be stressful, man. Every day you
I would like it. I think that's cool.
It is
having a lot of
cool.
stress. Like, I mean, having the stress is something to keep you going, and at the same time, you live it seems like a very dynamic life. You know what I mean?
I do
like,
a lot of crazy stuff, but what's crazy is I am dying to just lay on the couch and do nothing all day. So like when I get like a day off, because my job is to do crazy stuff all the time and be excited and love that. It's so fun. What do you like to do outside of content? It's like I'll lay on the couch and not move for 12 hours, 2 days in a row, and it's still not enough for before Monday.
I get antsy. If I don't do things for a day, I start getting like, oh, there's so much stuff I got to do.
Yeah, I mean,
hard
I'm
for
kind of
me
like
to-
that too. I'm
yeah.
not normally like the one that wants to lay there, but
Yeah.
Where I'm at now, being like just exhausted of, kind of feeling burned out and stuff. Otherwise we'll just spend the whole weekend in Malibu. Liz just bought a condo in Malibu, and it's amazing. So we'll go there on the weekends as often as we can, and just enjoy. Like it's kind of like a different vibe out there than where we are. It's only 20 minutes, but it's, the ocean, all that stuff is so nice. So we just try to do that and try to disconnect, our minds from work. So we come back, we can feel more like energized and, excited to push through all the tremendous amount of stuff we have to do in a week.
Yeah. I feel, at least for me, some of the burnout comes with feeling like it's repetitive after a while. Mm-hmm. And every now and then when I get a topic I'm really excited about talking about, it's just, that's when I love it. When there's a new topic that comes out, like I'm so excited to get my thoughts about it. And that's when the burnout disappears. But then I feel burnt out. It's like, oh, side hustles video.
one quick question.
Yeah.
How many hours a week would you say you work?
When we first started, we worked, if we weren't sleeping, we were working. And that was for, 2 years. And then we had the great idea of, what if we took like weekends off from work? So we started doing that, and that was tough to like not work. And like, what do we do on a Saturday? It was weird. So we ended up just kind of working like half anyways.
Why did you decide to take weekends off?
Because we realized that we need like to be more normal, like
Why?
people, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. And we're sprinting, and that was great because we blew up and we established, we felt good. And now we feel like we can kind of be a little bit more sustainability is the mindset, as opposed to let's how fast we can run everything. And then also, growing the team and stuff. There's other people that come in, they have their own lives and own places to live in, like girlfriends and stuff. So they like need to, like work-life balance is like a thing.
I see Graham smirking out of the side of his face.
And
He's
so,
smiling.
yeah, I don't know. You guys are working every day, maybe?
No, we are,
Lots,
but
yeah.
I think it's just funny because like,
Now I've taken Saturdays off.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so even till this day, so the day I started, I haven't taken like vacation apart from like, I took a 2.5 day vacation about a month and a half ago for the first time. That was huge for me. And so I'm dying just to like get out of the office. But even when I'm out and the like couple of vacations I've been on, I'm still having to, open the laptop. Everyone's out having a good time, chilling and stuff. And I got to like sneak off to my room and work for a few hours.
Do you like doing that or you don't like doing that?
I mean, I love what I do, but like you got to be able to like have some times where you just like don't bring the computer or, you know what I mean? Like just check out mentally. That's the refresh that combats the burnout. I really believe. And so I'm itching for a vacation, so I have one planned, but it's also stressful because I have to make sure I get everything done. And then usually when I'm gone, I'm getting phone calls and text messages. And there's like from all these different disciplines that I work with, through the finances, CPAs, to the team, to other creators, to networking, to like all this stuff. And so it's usually really hard to turn off, very, very difficult. And I think that's what I need for like to come back super fresh.
See, I find it enjoyable sometimes to be like always feeling like I'm doing something productive. So it's hard for me not to do anything productive.
I'm the same way,
yeah.
and that's why I'm in my position. But now that I'm here long enough, and I do think things are feeling a little bit repetitive and kind of automated in a way, so it's maybe less challenging or exciting, or maybe I'm just more used to it. I'm feeling more burned out, But I don't know. I think like it's the ebbs and flows. I feel like I need to get out and then come back, and then do that periodically. I think it's just at least what I need. I think. But yeah, I mean, I love to work, and I think that's part of why, I am here, because I just, found something that I love to work on, and I just obsess on it and just go and work, and I'll just make any excuse to not go to like a party or like an event and just work and work and work and work and work, because it's like awesome.
I get that. Should we end it on, what positive note do you want to end on, Jack?
I haven't thought of a positive note, but I have one more quick question. Yeah. Would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm very introverted when it comes to people I don't know, or like parties and stuff. I don't really enjoy them as much. It's a lot for me. But within my own friend group, I feel like I'm more extrovert, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So I don't know if like a lot of people are kind of different on situations.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would consider myself the same. I think like in new groups of people, it's a little weird. I don't want to like make a big, I'll kind of be a wallflower, but like within my friend group, they would all consider me like huge extroverts.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's really not answering the question.
No,
I don't know.
that's
I
a
wonder if
perfect
that's,
answer.
I wonder if that's like everyone though.
No, it means you're
I think that is everyone.
No,
I mean,
I
don't
think
know.
that there
really.
definitely are certain people that are just wildly extroverted or introverted. The people that just stay inside all day, every single day. I have friends like that. And then
yeah, that's kind of like me. I like to just stay at home and not.
Don't do that. Sorry.
Like for me, I just like to stay at home. Like I don't like if I'm at the grocery store by myself, I'm very introvert. I'm not like, hey, what's up, cashier? Hey, what's up, person shopping? Like bouncing around and stuff. I'm kind of just like, don't talk to me. Like I'm doing my own thing. Like just quiet, voices in my head, just chop,
Voices in the head.
Or not like not schizophrenic, I guess. But I'm just kind of thinking to myself, just living my life, just internally, But then with friends, it's the opposite. Yeah,
it's very interesting.
Cool.
I think to sum it up nicely. This has been a nice episode. It's been very nice meeting you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on. This is cool.
Thank you. Yeah,
you had hit me up months ago wanting to network, talk business, talk YouTube. Weren't able to make it happen until like a week ago. You gave me a house tour.
Yeah,
insane house in Bel Air. I don't know how many square feet is that? 20,000 square feet.
Yeah, I think it's 15,000.
9 bedrooms, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 10 bedrooms, 15
bedrooms.
bathrooms.
That is
crazy. only you live there, right?
Yeah, I mean, sort of. I have like friends that stay all the time, but no like business people.
God, like that is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but again, we used to all live in the same house.
Yeah.
Regardless of size, it's the work-life thing that we've really discovered. Having people like go home to their own spot that they're responsible for and that stuff versus like every time I open the fridge, like, where's the eggs? I bought them last night, and then you just, it's the whole thing. Really fascinating. Though.
You know what would be fun? I just thought of this because I was starting to think like, who are we going to have for the next week's podcast? I remember you and I had talked about somebody, and I can't remember who that was. But what would be fun is if you gave us a recommendation of someone to have on the next podcast, and then that person gives us another recommendation of someone to have on the podcast.
That would be really interesting.
And then every episode is just a recommendation from the last person, and just see who we meet. I think that might be kind of cool. I don't know if that's something you're interested in. I just thought of that because I can't. Who
would you know of anyone that you think the episode would do well? It would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had to understand like what kind of guests do well on your podcast. Like people that are like popular, like famous people, or
people like finance. I've noticed
People that like
But-
finance, but at the same time, obviously, it would be easier if they were popular. If they aren't, it's got to be something that sets them apart.
Yeah,
a
like super
good story or
interesting.
something,
Right.
yeah. Joe Rogan-esque,
Yes.
with a hint of finance.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I know some people.
Okay.
There's some guys on FaZe Clan that I think would be really cool.
Okay. We can get Rug. I think that would be great.
FaZe Rug would be cool. I think FaZe K, if you're familiar with him. He's really into like finances and investing, like obsessive about it.
Cool.
And very
We would love to
popular
have
on YouTube.
anybody on that you can.
I think
That
he'd
would be interesting because usually with the podcast, like I've talked with people before, it's never really just a cold introduction on a podcast. Never just. So that would be cool to meet somebody who I've like haven't met before, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I think Frazier would be awesome.
All right.
We talk a little bit about, he's got all these businesses and things that he's investing in. Also, are you familiar with Spotter?
No.
It's a very fascinating business model. They'll pay you upfront today for your future monetization earnings on your channel.
How much do they pay? Jeez.
Like big money.
I mean, yeah, I'm just curious. I want to see how much they'd offer.
They'll offer millions of dollars depending on the size and potential future performance of your back catalog.
What's to say I just don't stop uploading?
They will have like upload minimums for the term, like 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, so they'll pay you today cash, a check, for every video that you've uploaded up until the first of the month.
Yeah.
And they'll essentially just copyright strike all those or claim them so that that money doesn't go to you, it goes to them for 5 years, and then they just turn it off.
I can't tell you who did that. Somebody else I talked to did that. I'm 99% sure it was the same thing. And they sold the rights to all of their previous videos for a big lump sum that they then used to reinvest back in the channel.
Well, here's the thing. It's a licensing thing. They're not selling it.
Right. That's what I meant. I meant to say, yeah.
Well, it makes a big difference, I think, also with taxes and how you file it and stuff like that. But yeah, it's super interesting. I looked into it. And I know a lot of people that have done it end up taking massive 7-8 figure checks.
I just want to see how much they'd offer me. I'm so curious.
I could give you an idea. You could hit them up and they'll calculate something. I could also like.
Can you give me an idea? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen my analytics, but you could check that out. And you could go to the revenue and just sort by whatever. I'm just curious what they would offer.
Yeah. It's hard to say, like, do your old videos do well?
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of your top earners will be.
I would say
It's probably under 20 videos that will consistently bring views, right?
right.
It's about 20 or so videos that he's posted in the past that will consistently do well, rank well, and
Yeah, I don't know. I would say maybe
like the tail of your videos.
yeah, 70% of the revenue. I would say maybe 70% of the revenue comes within the last 30 days, and then every 30% of it is just old videos.
It's hard to say because this is different than what my channel looks like.
Yeah, yours I've noticed they just will continually get views because every video is kind of like a standalone. Some of mine is news. So like some of those videos that you're clicking on, within a week they're irrelevant.
Yeah. So that's the biggest part of their calculation. And I have a really good idea at how their model works. They have an exponential decay model that all videos will follow, essentially. You post it like really high and then it just kind of starts to decay.
Right.
So they have a model where they figured if they just get enough YouTube videos from enough different disciplines, just like stocks, you can average it and hedge money on that and make a business model about paying it and try to make some sort of percent return. With those risks, some channels will win, some will lose, but on average, given this mathematical model they developed, they'll make money. So it looks like a lot of your videos don't have like huge long-term performance, like in a month.
Yeah, what is that? So you could say it out loud, $18. That video made
$18.
$18 last month.
In the last month. It's an old video. Like you probably uploaded this, months ago. Months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, $18. Whereas like if I'll pull one up just to kind of compare.
Yeah.
I'll just scroll back, similar amount.
could you take any sort of screenshot or anything so I can throw it up in the...
Sure. Like here's like a good one. So maybe it's not really apples to apples. But this one is, and I'll screenshot this one. So this is, in the last 28 days, $2,000.
Wow.
And this is an old video that I filmed over 6-7 months ago.
Wow.
And so it's still doing $2,000 a month.
It's like a rental property. It's good.
So
Speaking of rental property, man, this is my favorite one. One of my most profitable videos is how to buy your first rental property step by step. It has consistently made about $2,200 a month for like 3 years now.
Is that what it's at now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
an old video too.
See, that's
Last
what
night,
you
you guys
wanna
look at that
produce.
consistency. Almost $100 a day on a video I made 3 years ago.
Yeah, see, that's what I love about
Gosh.
YouTube, because you can make these videos.
Oh man,
that you
I
hear.
haven't looked at these analytics.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. That's crazy.
Wow.
Like, that's what I think is so cool, is you can make a YouTube video, and I consider them as digital assets. It's like, we have a production company, we're a startup, we're small, but the product that we produce are these free digital assets that we post on YouTube. And these assets can continue to bring in revenue day after day, month after month. Some of them kind of exponentially decay, but others will just sit and then just kind of cruise just like that. $100 a day for a year is, can I say that number?
Yeah.
Like $26,000 in a year. But what did you do for that in the last year? Nothing for that particular video. I mean, you're keeping the brand going and stuff, but that's just happening, kind of like passive income. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of content that I try to produce, is stuff that I think is going to do that. And I think that's also a great sign of content that also coincides with being highly entertaining, highly clickable, and people love that video. And so it keeps getting watched. Like, it's not like annoying. It's not a virus. It's not annoying people. People are enjoying it and they're watching it. And here it is, $100 a day for I don't know, not forever, but for a long period.
So what do you think they would offer on my channel?
From what I saw, it looks like a lot of your videos really kind of decay to
Right.
just
I would say there's maybe 30 to 40 videos that bring in a consistent amount from a long time
Well, here's
ago.
the number that will determine everything. Given how much money you're making a month, how many, so if you pulled that up in the last 28 days, you made X amount. How much?
You can say it.
Yeah, you can
what
say
was
it.
it? I don't
A
remember.
170, I think.
Okay, so $170,000. How much of that $170,000 came from videos you posted in the last month or the last 28 days?
Probably 70% of it.
So 70% came from those new videos, and
Yes.
30% is your old.
So
Okay.
170, 30%, so that's 51,000.
So that's almost backwards for me.
Okay.
Mine is like whatever I made that month. 80% is old videos, or
Wow.
60, 70% is old videos.
Wow.
Chugging along. So for your channel, I really, it's so hard to say. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more similar, and I could kind of work it that way. So I really don't know.
Can you say how much they offered you?
I don't want to say,
What if we
because
blur-
it's still on the table. I can tell you guys personally.
Okay.
I'll blur it. I can
Okay.
read it.
Oh, me.
They offered me for my full catalog up until the start of the month that I was negotiating.
You'd have to pay tax on all that up front, wouldn't you?
Unless you spend it. But the thing is, the only thing that I pay is whatever those videos will generate, the old videos. And again, they'd start to decay. They don't touch the new stuff. But it seems like you guys get how that works.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, okay, well, what about like just everything that I posted
Right.
the January 1st, 2020 and older, like 2019 and older. And they offered, I think, which seemed a little bit better because those videos are already older. But then if you look back, they just chug and chug and chug.
You could do the math yourself. And
Oh, yeah, exactly. It makes sense.
So I didn't do it. Now that I'm kind of burned out on the way here, I was talking, I was like, I'm kind of thinking about Spotter. I don't believe in it because it pays back so fast. It's not like it's a loan and you pay it back slowly over 30 years. No, you take this loan in a way and you start paying it back the most month 1, month 2, like the way you pay it starts to decay.
Right.
So they say it's a 5-year term. It's really not. They basically make most of their investment back at the end of like year 1.5 or 2.
I believe those investment guys are so smart. They're so calculated. They would not make you an offer that they knew would not be in their favor in terms of the risk and reward. I mean, they might be off every now and then, but I think they build up enough of a margin in every person to ensure that they're making enough money from everybody.
Okay, but in Spotter's defense, I do agree. They're very smart, and whoever is running their models is leaps and bounds above the little that I did to try to crunch my own numbers. However, I think this is a really smart thing for some creators in some circumstances, which I think actually ends up being a lot, is that opportunity cost of that money today
Yes.
is so amazing, regardless of whatever the technical interest would boil down to.
That's true.
And so I think it is a very smart very smart for some people, but for me, who already has a ton of working capital that I haven't even invested yet, and I believe in my future success and growth, and I feel from my analytical background, I have more confidence and control over my future of stability, it didn't make sense for me. So
Yeah,
that's
I
how
agree.
I approached it. now that I'm burning out, I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have taken it, cash out, and go sit on the beach. But I just need a vacation, and I'm going to be back because I do inherently just love to create crazy content, and I have massive dreams for the future. So
Cool. That's it. It's a good point to end off at. What do you think? We had 2 hours of long episode.
I'm sure that offer will stay there for like Spotter won't.
they might recalculate.
Yeah, they could recalculate. Maybe it's a little bit lower, but you would be, I feel like, maybe probably way happier way more upset to take it and then regret it than to not take it. And then
I just figured look, what I'm doing is great. It's working. I've never taken a loan or an investment from any investor before. And it's going awesome. I couldn't have dreamed to be in the position I am and have as much success and be doing what I'm doing. It's amazing. I could never even dreamed of it. So why kind of mess with it's not broken, why mess with it?
Yeah.
If I'm in a weird position or desperate, I think that's when it starts to look a little bit more, at least in my current position, would look more appetizing.
I agree.
But, things are great. I don't jinx it,
Yeah. Cool. I'd say we wrap up to 2 hours. Cool.
So
Well,
with
that
that said,
was,
you guys.
Oh yeah. Let me do
do
my
that,
outro.
sure.
Okay. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And Carter, thank you so much for coming by. You got to tell them though, really quick, before they click out, to destroy the like button for the YouTube algorithm
absolutely destroy it. And don't forget about the subscribe button if you haven't already, too.
and the notification bell. We're gonna link our Instagrams down below in the description. And don't forget, Webull is now offering 4 free stocks. That's right. It's crazy. They said their offer was ending for 3 free stocks, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're good. They're gonna go down." They just made it better. 4 free stocks, guys, till the end of the month. So if you want 4 free stocks, use that link down below in the description. Enjoy. Let us know which 4 you get. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.
See you guys.
Subscribe to Carter.
Thank you.
All right.
It says on the sticker.
Okay.
So
Grab one of these online.
teamrar.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give you a review real quick.
Yeah, let me know what your honest opinion is. I don't know if that one's going to fit you. That's adult small.
It's all good. I'm pretty skinny.
Might be
This camera here, I think this might be a really interesting.
Dude, this is really soft.
Well, let me just try it from this angle.
Yeah.
We'll just see what happens.
Okay.
It's definitely a bit small, but you're kind of squeezing in.
Is that still filming? The triple one, Graham?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we always have our guests introduce themselves or introduce the podcast. So you're going to say, welcome to the 28th ever episode of the Iced Coffee Hour. Iced Coffee Hour. How much has the podcast made so far?
18.6.
18,000. Yeah, the podcast has made so far $18,600. And that's going to be our introduction. 18.6. Welcome to our 28th ever episode of the Iced Coffee Hour. My name is Carter. So far, the podcast has made $18,600. So just 18.6.
I mean, if you butcher it, it's no
It's
big
fine.
deal.
We'll piece it
help you
together.
out. Yeah.
And which camera do I address?
That one is right on you. If you want to look directly to the audience, that one. This is going to be the main angle for all of us. That's going to be on me.
You could actually do it in that one.
Yeah, do it
just
on
to
that one.
start. Yeah.
Cool.
So this is the Iced Coffee Hour, episode 28,
Right.
and then 18.6.
Yep.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Iced Coffee Hour. I'm Carter Scherer. This is episode 28, and this podcast has made $18,600 so far.
You could do it again. 28th ever.
28th
Oh
ever.
my gosh. Yeah. Good catch.
Yeah, of course.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Iced Coffee Hour. I'm Carter Scherer, and this is... All right, well, take 3.
You should do the little thing, the boop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be funny.